This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram @LoneWolfPB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. This episode is brought to you by HK Army. The tournament season is right around the corner, and there's a ton of teams out there who still haven't finalized their 2023 gear sponsorships. Well, look no further, PTG fam. HK Army is offering team sponsorships along with custom designed team jerseys, pants, dry fits, gloves, and more. Get your squad in matching gear head to toe from HK Army, and be sure to let them know that PTG Podcast sent you. To get your team sponsored, simply email teams@hkarmy.com and ask for the HK Army sponsorship program. That's teams, TEAMS, @hkarmy.com to kick off the 2023 season in style with HK Army.
This episode is brought to you by BioCell RX. BioCell RX is an amazing company that makes some of the best CBD I have ever tried. I've been personally using this product for over 3 months, and it does not disappoint. I don't go anywhere without it. When traveling, it's really hard to get to sleep, especially when I'm swapping time zones and going to different places, sleeping in hotels and not in my own bed. CBD helps me get a good night rest so that I can wake up feeling refreshed, ready to coach, ready to teach, or ready to compete. Whatever it is, I take my CBD with me. My CBD is my partner in crime, my partner in travel. BioCell is one of the products that, if it's not in my backpack, I'm not leaving the house. You guys are definitely going to want to head over to biocellrx.com and pick up a bottle of your own. The cool thing about BioCell is they offer CBD at an incredibly highly concentrated formula. With over 6,000 milligrams per bottle, you can get one bottle and hold on to it for a long time. The typical dose for CBD is around 30 milligrams, so you do the math. One bottle will last you a very long time. You don't have to deal with constantly ordering new products and waiting for it to arrive and maybe running out, all of the nonsense. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and get $25 off at checkout. All right, everybody.
Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by the one and only Trans Labs that brought the world two amazing products. First off, Transfuse, which is a hydration multiplier, and most recently, they just dropped Transcend, which is a nootropic energy formula. No matter what you use, when you choose Trans Labs, you are going to be boosted and you are going to be ready to charge the paintball field and win out there. With Transfuse, that is a premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in this product. We've got zinc, we've got vitamin B6, we've got vitamin C, sodium, potassium, choline, and it is an amazing way to make sure that you're hydrated and prepared to play top-level paintball. When it comes to Transcend, that is a premium nootropic energy formula designed to increase cognitive performance, elevate mood and clarity while supporting long-term brain health, and it's going to leave you feeling great with no crash or jitters. It's one of the only products in the nootropic space backed by research studies to ensure the formula is correct for optimal performance. It is more potent than anything on the market, and it will keep you charged and ready to win out there. I take 1 scoop, but if you're stimulant sensitive, take a half scoop. And if you want that LFG dose to launch to the moon, dump 2 scoops in your drink and you are going to be flying down that paintball field. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, Baja Blast and Skittles Candy for the Transcend. And for the Transfuse, they have 2 new flavors as well, Pineapple Express and Hawaiian Punched. So if you get a chance, head over to translabs.com. That's TRANZLABS.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and you'll get 10% off. If you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you also get 10% off as well. So you can take advantage of 20% off on these products. Head over to translabs.com and give it a go.
All right, PTG Nation, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This episode, Tyler and I dive into the recent craziness. Harris is officially on the Russian Legion. Sergey has officially left the Russian Legion. A lot of crazy kind of moves and things being made in the fourth quarter of the offseason. The layout literally drops tomorrow, Wednesday. So we're getting ready for the first event. The first event is, 9 days away. So a lot of stuff still happening. And then we have a very special guest, Matt the Gym Rat. Huge congratulations to Matt. He just broke 100,000 followers on YouTube, and he has over 1.3 million followers on TikTok. So he's doing a fantastic job of getting paintball seen by the masses, and it was really great to sit down and talk with him. Without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication. And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
PTG peeps worldwide. We got a great show tonight.
Woo!
It is,
let's go.
Yeah, baby. Episode number 181. And we're rocking and rolling towards that 200. It is Tuesday night or Wednesday when you're listening to this right now. Layout just dropped on Wednesday. So hopefully everybody's enjoying that. And we're going to have a lot of fun diving into everything. Marshy, how you doing, bro?
Dude, I am fantastic, Tyler. Things are good. We're getting ready for the event. We're about to have the layout drop in the morning. I'm excited for that. I know you are too. Can't wait to really dive in and get back to work like we're used to.
Yes, sir.
This one weekend, with the layout thing, big bummer. Not liking it even more than I, originally didn't like it, but it is what it is. But the next, 10, 11, 12 days are going to be, all in. So pretty excited for the next, basically 2 weeks.
Yeah, man, it's live. It's lit.
It's live.
People are active. And even though we don't have the layout for this last weekend, you're still able to, play a lot of good paintball. And it does make it crunched into a nice tight package where, everybody has, starting Wednesday, about a week, and then rolling into the tournament. Typically, people play another practice once they get there, and then it's live action straight into the event. So it's interesting. I'm very curious to see what is going to happen with the shakeout. There's a lot of great games that are going to be happening, and man, with the crazy turn of events we saw over the off season with everybody switching teams and just going wild with the trades and everything. It'll be really fun to watch some of these matches that we're going to see as well.
Yeah, I totally agree, dude. It's funny. We were talking about on one of the shows about the 1 weekend release, and one of the points, I think it was on the Tom Cole episode. One of the points that I was making was for teams in the Northeast that if they get bad weather the weekend before an event, they're not going to get to practice on the field, and that's a huge disadvantage. Well, funny enough, we're going to have a lot of rain this weekend.
Yeah, but rainball's the best.
Yeah, but not really, actually. Not really.
Rainball's fun.
Cold rainball is not fun. Rain in Florida is kind of fun because it's at least warm. It's something, but
tropical.
when you're trying to practice and prepare for an event, it's not fun. You can't shoot straight. Your equipment doesn't work well. It's just not fantastic, so
it's not ideal.
It's not ideal at all. It's really difficult to learn the field. Should you still be playing? Of course, teams are going to have to. But again, it's just it's kind of funny that I was thinking it was going to be the poor folks in the Northeast, and it turned out being the West Coast, always sunny area that's getting all the rain.
Man, California has gotten so much rain and snow over the last week.
Tyler, Saturday night, it was hailing so hard. I don't know what time I woke up because I didn't look at my phone. I didn't want, the light, and then I'd be up. So it was sometime in the middle of the night. I woke up at some point and Mikey was sleeping on my couch. I was like worried about Mikey. I thought he was going to be scared. I was actually legitimately kind of afraid because the hail was I've never experienced this in my life, how loud the hail was. Like I had to put a pillow over my head because it was so loud. It was crazy. I was kind of scared for about probably 3 to 5 minutes. It was like, I thought a sled size ice cube was going to bust through my roof. It was crazy. And then I went out in the morning, there was hail everywhere. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
whoa, wild. We just don't get that in San Diego. I get it for
No,
most of you
yeah.
listening. You're probably laughing at me, but it's it's definitely a little different.
Well, good
Yeah.
thing your car's got a like cover on it as well, because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
hail can do
Yeah.
some damage too.
Oh, dude, good point. Oh, my car wasn't. Oh my gosh, my car wasn't under that cover though because it was on the charger, so it was out in the open. Nothing
Ah, it's
happened though.
fine. It's fine.
I hope I actually haven't. Well,
They're
okay,
built
so
for success.
the roof of the Tesla is like this thick glass,
Oh yeah. So
so
you're
that's a
good.
little so it's a little better. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I haven't checked my trunk or anything.
some of the hail that comes sweeping through the Midwest and the Northeast and some of these other areas it's staggering the size of the
Yeah,
hail, and it can really
sure,
do some crazy damage as well.
sure, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. Phew.
it's wild.
Well, we survived. We
Yes,
survived.
sir.
We had a good team practice on Saturday. We actually, we didn't go to the field in the morning, so it was pouring rain. It was pretty cold here for San Diego. It's basically sub-zero, but it was in the 40s. So pretty cold for us. And we decided to go get breakfast together as a team. It was Ryan's birthday, so we had a nice little meal together. Then we went back to Skinny Kevin's house, and shout out to Gel Blaster, their new sponsor of San Diego Dynasty. So they sent us a bunch of guns, and all those guns are so much fun. They're so good for paintball,
Absolutely.
because it's an entry point for really young kids that can play with these things, kind of get
Yeah.
paintball ingrained in their mind. But there's this one that Gel Blaster has. It's like a rocket launcher. It's the extended version. And this thing shoots fast. It's like 220 miles per hour or something. It's crazy.
I've
This
seen
thing
that.
is so fast. So it's kind of painful. But by around noon, it cleared up. It's still cloudy, kind of cold, and very wet at the field, but it wasn't raining. So we got out there and got to practice for probably 4 hours just playing ourselves.
Nice.
And then Sunday we went up and played Aftermath at ASG. It was a great weekend, really good weekend of practice. Had the new guys in town. Chris and Harrison, they are fitting in very well. Mikey's playing phenomenal. So I'm excited, really excited.
Hell yeah. How's Aftermath looking?
Dude, they look a lot better. They really do.
Good.
We played them with kind of the off-season squad. Mouse, Lil B, Kyle, Ryan, Rainey. Earlier, I think it was December. No, maybe it was January, because it was all the new Aftermath guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was January. That's
Yeah.
right. It was when I split my lip open, and they did not look
Damn,
good.
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. They
Do the
did not
people
look.
even does PTG World know that happened? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know
we
either.
talked about it.
Yeah, I think so, because we had to do a show that Tuesday. My lip was like kind of messed
Yeah.
up. Yeah, so we for sure talked about it, but
Oh.
it healed up great. I did get a nice hefty bill from insurance, which is crazy. It's such a racket. I really feel for the people. Yeah, I feel for the people that are going through it, and you could just get these kind of crippling bills that are. It's wild. It's totally unreasonable. Yeah, it's crazy that they can get away with this stuff. But in any case, they did not look great that weekend. And in all honesty, I was concerned, because obviously Aftermath is a organization dear to both of our hearts. I want them to do well. Like the players on the team, obviously love ownership, we're both Aftermath alumni. And I was a little concerned, like, there's a chance they could be the 20th team and get relegated, and that's not, we don't want that. But my goodness, they've put in the work 100%. They are a lot better. At least they played us a lot better this last weekend. So Wayne has been doing a phenomenal job with structure, making sure that they are practicing a lot. I'll give some credit to Grayson as well. Grayson has been playing really well, and I think he's trying to be a little bit more of a leader on the team. And David Ramirez is doing a fantastic job. He's like, he's kind of a player coach that really understands how to keep people in check, and the mental part of the game is such a big part of it. So, he's kind of the boss on the team, if you will. And if emotions get out of line, he keeps people honest, keeps people real. So, whatever they're doing, it's working. They played a lot better, and we had a good practice against them. So I look forward to playing, against them many more weekends, and hopefully they have a good year.
Yeah, absolutely. We need that bloodline to be strong in the pro
100%.
industry. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's just such a staple in the fabric of paintball. And I love that you brought up the cerebral aspect of it, because really that is everything. You have to capitalize in the moments. You've got to be present when you're playing these events, and you honestly, whoever is the most malleable and able to adjust the quickest and be fluid and be really good with their shots and make, capitalize on all the opportunities. Obviously, those are the teams that go the distance. So you've got to be able to
Yeah.
do that day in and day out. And most importantly, in that window of time when you're playing an event, it's like we talk about, practice is great. No, I don't give a shit really if I win practice. I'm not trying to win practice. I'm trying to
Yes.
raise my IQ up. I'm trying to get data. You know what I mean? So however we can get the most data, that's really what it's all about. And I hope that we see them continue to do well into the future. I love the Aftermath squad, love Mike and his bloodline and everything that they've done for paintball. So really excited to see the squad and all of these like new entities roll out into the 2023 season, because there's so many changes that happened this offseason. It's unbelievable. We've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like it and I thought that was last year, but this one was even crazier.
It's crazy because this one was so late.
Yeah.
It was literally, I was going into this season like, damn, that was pretty boring. Overall, pretty boring offseason. Not many moves. Like, what was there? What was the big move early? Like before this year, or even
Rainy.
before, like, Rainy. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Rainy was the only one. And that was a big move. Don't get me wrong. Oh, and Cody. Okay. Cody leaving Infamous and going to X Factor.
But that was, those were the big ones.
Those were the big ones. Those were the two. Okay, cool. Yeah. Kind of boring. Damage definitely got better. Infamous probably gets a little worse, right? But that was it. That was it. And then there were some other, there's some other movers as well, but like, no big splashes, no big splashes. And then, oh my goodness. All of a sudden, boom, Diesel drops down, Impact, rolls out. The Russians are on the move. Some crazy stuff out now that Sergey's looking for a team. Sergey is a fundamental piece to that team on the field. He's a force. He contributed to a lot of their success in their run to the finals in Chicago. I don't know how they're going to fill that. They did pick up Harris, and I assume the timeline's all a little weird for me. I'm curious how that went down, because they pick up Harris and literally there was all this controversy on the Russian Legion Instagram. Russian Legion's Instagram released something basically saying like, I guess upper management makes decisions that the team doesn't like always agree with. I don't want to paraphrase and miss the mark on this one.
I want you to definitely pull that up, because Harris was with the squad a couple weeks ago. He's been training with them for a couple weeks. So it's interesting what's been going on.
Yeah. So the Russian Legion page posted a repost of Let's Talk Paintball, and Let's Talk Paintball said, Russian Legion, let's talk about the time you all told me I was wrong. Don't know who he's referring to. And, shout out to Vince. Vince has been on it with all this stuff. To be honest, I love the Let's Talk Paintball platform because it's very engaging. It's really cool. He doesn't have to get things right 100% of the time to be beneficial to our sport, right? It keeps people talking about the stuff. So I've enjoyed it, just, throwing that out there. But I don't know what he's referring to here. So then Russian Legion post it, right? And I got the screenshot here. It says, your guess is as good as ours. Looks like people making decisions without others knowing. And that's in response to the NXL finally posting that Harris is on the team. So it seems like there's definitely a disagreement amongst players and coaches or whatever it might be. All I can do is speculate, right?
But we don't have any
information, but it's wild.
Public
like that. Yeah, exactly. It's wild that it's public like that. I didn't just share information that's not, out there. I'm not stirring the pot. It's just weird so that happens. And then it seems like a day or two later, Sergey leaves the team. So I know a lot of the Russian players are in the US and have been playing with Harris. Right. And,
they have.
And some players are back home. I wonder if there's like a disagreement between the players in the US and the players at home or management. I don't know. I don't know who runs the Russian Legion Instagram page. I don't know any of that. Right. Yeah. But I always thought it was Kirill, but I don't know if it is.
Or Sergey could be just going to get a bag. You never know. He could be going, maybe, I don't know where he's going to end up we're going to see here, I guess, within the
Seems
next.
weird to happen a week before the event, though, right? It's the
This is
day
true.
before the layout drop. So to me, it's something happened. Like all the other teams that are throwing around money have already made their offers. I don't think they're looking to make an offer this late. Doesn't seem like he had a plan. It seemed like he just, said, hey, I'm entering free agency. It's not working out here anymore. I don't know. But very interesting for sure what's going on over in that camp. I'm excited to see how they look with Harris. I actually am a fan of Harris. I think he brings a lot of value to teams. I've always told him that he needs to get a little more in line with some discipline, and he would be like great. But, people bag on Harris for his, he's a loudmouth. He talks a lot of shit, and people want to say like, just shut up and actually go win a match to him. But I've argued with people, other pros, other players. I'm like, actually, Harris does a lot on the field for that organization. Like it may not look pretty, but he truly wins games. Like he's cost them as well. He's gotten some bad penalties in untimely moments, but he's one of the players that I've consistently witnessed, like pulling out points, right? Yep. Unorthodoxly, and not looking fantastic, but getting it done. So
that's what you got to do at the end of the day.
As long as you get it done. Exactly. As long as you get it done. So, I mean, I've been a fan of him for a long time, and I know his shit talking is all in good fun. There's times where I feel he crosses the line as from a respect standpoint, but hey, you're going to ride that line when you're that character, right? And that's what he is. He's a big character for the game. And I love watching him play because of that. You love to see him either succeed or fail. Either way, you love watching, right? Those are the type of personalities we want in the sport. So I'm cool with it. But I do think there's a great opportunity with him, with the Russians, to learn a little bit more about discipline and really fine tune his body, his mind, and become as good of a player as he's going to be. That team will do that to you. You won't survive on that team if you don't do those things. It was fantastic for me when I was a young, 22-year-old that had a lot of talent, wasn't totally refined. For me to go to that organization, it really helped me mentally, physically. I've learned new ways to kind of approach the process. So if he's open to all of that, which I believe he is, we could see a very skillful Harris this year. And what he will bring to that team that they don't quite have right now is that like chemistry and the ability to, kind of play some West Coast paintball, good communication amongst each other and game planning and that kind of stuff. So we'll see. Yeah. A lot of crazy stuff though. The Revo, or sorry, not the Revo thing. I'm saying the Revo thing because that was maybe an assumption in my mind. I'm like, well, they already picked up one Russian player. Will Sergey maybe go there too? I could kind of see that, but Revo I think they have a lot of people on their roster. I don't know if they're looking for anybody. So then I was, contemplating the Ironman. I don't know. I think it's Revo or the Ironman. I'm not sure there's another suitor. What do you think, Ty?
I just think it's crazy that this is all happening. Like you said, one day before the layout drops. Like the layout is coming out right now. And we have a really big player that is in free agency and is going to end up in an organization without a doubt. And I side with you on the possibility of Revo, possibly Ironman. I just don't know. I'm really curious to see where he ends up. And I think that for New York, losing Harris is definitely a blow to the team because of the amount of not only play set that he has on the field, like we talked about. The guy, it's unorthodox. He gets it done. He gets the job done. I've seen him pull out a lot of things. He's dirty. He gets it done. You know what I mean? He just goes for it. And he's got passion. And when you have players like that have been spearheading the organization, the New York guys are definitely going to have to fill those shoes, and people are going to have to step up and make sure that the cadence is still there. People are still hungry and want to go get those W's. So I'm really rooting for the New York squad as well. They're one of my favorite teams. I love the New York, the guys out there. They're always fun to practice against, play against, and they got heart. They got passion for the game.
100%, Ty. I definitely agree. And I'm curious to see how NYX does as well, because they definitely underperformed last year. They had a team that was in, hovering around 10th, 13th place the season before. Then they pick up Corey Hall, who not too long ago won a pro tournament and was one of the starting 5 with the LA Ironman, right? He's a phenomenal player. So I think the expectations were they were going to do much better. And they ended up being one of the bottom 3 teams, right? Fighting relegation. So I'm curious to see if they get that on track and are able to, take the next step, or if this, the loss of Harris is going to be worse for him. There's so many storylines this season that I'm excited for. And we've really put ourselves in such a weird place, Ty, because as competitors, like these conversations we would never have before, before the events, it's actually not that conducive to being a good competitor, but we have to take our, competitor hat off. And I enjoy it. Actually, I love that we can kind of be just,
you got to shift gears
of the show. You shift gears 100%. I just did a interview with Junior this morning, actually, for Black Friday Paintball. And, we were kind of, talking about that, how you have to tell yourself these stories to kind of tap into. I brought up Dalton leaving the team. I brought up your situation and was like, obviously some of my best friends, very happy for them. But when you enter the gym or when you step onto the field, you got to tell yourselves these stories that are probably they're not true. They're not true, but you find like ways to motivate yourself, and it could be about anything, it's what high level competitors do. They find things that will motivate them, whatever it is. It could be a story you tell yourself. It could be music one time. It could be this another time. It could be a loss that you had, either, in the sport, or maybe a family member passing, or whatever it is. Like, if you can find a way to harness these things in your life and compartmentalize it, that's the most important thing. Because again, like Dalton, I meant to call him today, actually. But I'm so happy for him and his situation now, because I know what it does as a friend for his family. Same thing, when you had left the team, I was so happy for what it does for your family and your two boys, right? But you best believe when we step onto that field, we got to tell ourselves something. I can't just go and hug you right at the 50 and say, I hope you do great, Ty.
No.
Like, it's not like that.
It's wild once we get in there.
It is.
You're right, Marcelo. And that's where it all comes into, like, shifting the gears,
Yes,
you have to, we talk about it all the time, like how we talk to ourselves, and the way that we talk to ourselves when we're doing PTG, we're trying to get the spicy information. We're trying to have fun. We want to keep paintball vibrant. And there's so much fun stuff to talk about in paintball.
Yeah.
And we're able to run through all those ideas. And then when you step into the nets, or when you're, with your team and it's time to go, the gears shift. Everything starts to fall into alignment. And I do really appreciate, the way that we have such a beautiful family of paintball players. And, even though we have to shift in and out of those gears, there's still so much overall love and appreciation for everyone that plays this game, everyone that's a part of the fabric. And I think at the end of the day, that supersedes any, other thoughts, because we're all just really grateful to be doing what we're doing.
100%, Ty. It's funny. I had a conversation with Mouse about this too. He's probably one of the biggest ones at it, and probably the craziest with it, because he'll tell himself stories that he doesn't quite compartmentalize onto the field. He'll like carry it with him all day, every day. And he's like, I'm going to be better than, this and that because of this and that you said. And he I forgot what he brought up to me the other day on the phone, but I just laughed. I'm like, you really think that I said that or feel that? I forgot what it was, but it was so like,
you got to hold it close,
dude. I'm like, Mouse, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, I got to tell myself that, and I'm like, hey, I get it, dude. I get it.
It gets the people going,
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to get you going. That's the point of it. Right.
Yeah. For sure.
But it's a fine line. And I need people to understand this, since it's something we're talking about. And I don't think it's something many athletes talk about. So I need you to understand this as a listener. The key to this is being able to compartmentalize it. Right. Understand and prioritize what's important to you. If that friendship is, then don't let any of the other stuff bleed into it. But when you need to tap into it, you do, and that's a very crucial, and also like things people say about you, if they're discrediting your skill, your ability, your team's ability. Okay. Don't wear that on your sleeve. Don't let it actually affect you. But when you step into the gym, think about it. When you step onto the field, think about it, use it as fuel. So that way it's at the mercy of you, not the other way around. That is the real like nugget of this whole thing. Don't go online and read what all the people are saying about you, good or bad. Shane Pastana used to always say, not too high, not too low. And it's become one of my favorite sayings, just as much as you don't want to let all the bad stuff affect you, you also don't want to read too much of the good stuff, because it actually doesn't matter. What matters is your process, staying disciplined, staying focused, and continuing to do the things that are required to be at your best, right?
Straight
So
up.
being able to compartmentalize these things and use them to your advantage will help you in all aspects of life, business, relation. It doesn't matter what it is. If you can learn how to look at something objectively and then compartmentalize it to use it in the way that you want, you're going to become quite the master at a lot of different things. And you're going to have a lot of motivation and fuel that you didn't have before.
Yeah. Now you can't say it any better, man. You got to be able to take the good, the bad, the ugly, and use it for your growth.
Yeah.
Like, what way are you going to go? You got to be growing. We got to be moving forward. We got to be moving up. And it's not easy. It takes effort and it takes time and diligence. But if you're really serious about whatever it is that you want to be successful in, then that's the way you got to do it. That's the mindset. That's the mantra. It's always moving up, always using everything in our advantage to become better every day.
Yep. Couldn't agree more, dude. 100%.
Yeah,
So
I love that. Yeah, it's like a bag of tricks. You got the compartmentalized
tricks.
little
Yeah.
bag of tricks. You're running around with them, dipping into this one, dipping into that one,
There's times when I tap into, and truly, I don't live day to day sad about my dad passing. I had a beautiful relationship with my dad. I'm so thankful for every moment that I got to spend with my dad. He ended up living a lot longer than he was supposed to. He overcame a lot. But there's times when I really try to tap into that because it motivates me and fuels me, right? And I'm thankful for that. These things that affect you negatively or could affect you negatively, I really advocate that you try to do your best to use it as fuel and turn it into something good, because that's what anyone that we lose would want,
That's right.
And actually we're getting a little heavy here. But that does bring up our good friend, Nick Sloviak. He's going through a very tough time. If anybody has seen, Nick Sloviak lost his wife, and she's been, she was battling an illness for quite some time and ended up losing the fight. So Nick, it's now just him and his 3 kids. I can't imagine going through that. I can't imagine losing the person that you're building a family with. I've got the chills right now just talking about it. Honestly, it's really difficult to find the right words. There probably aren't right words for it. The only thing that I ask is that we show Nick our love and support. There's a Venmo account set up to, for his kids, to help with their future and guide them through and navigate, help them navigate this, unprecedented time that you really just can't and shouldn't have to plan for.
Unreal.
We'll post it again on the PTG Instagram.
And it's
so
also, if you go to bkipaintball.com, there's a direct link straight through there as well that you can help support him and his beautiful family with. And Nick, we love you with all of our heart. The whole community, we all got your back, brother.
He's one of the greatest individuals in the game. Talk about somebody that is always uplifting and cares about every single player he comes in contact with. Nick is that guy. He truly is. And I just, I truly just cannot imagine. So all we can do is be there for him as a community, like he would be for us, and try to lift him up. It's been a wild time. Life is very precious. Obviously there was that fundraiser for John Richardson, one of the OGs. He isn't as prevalent in pro paintball anymore, so it didn't strike as many chords, I don't think, but it is no less important. And JR also recently lost his wife, and to see the paintball community really step up and lift our brothers up is something I'm thankful for. Really shows that we have a special group with, all paintball players. At the end of the day, we can put our differences aside and we support one another. And I appreciate that. But it's been kind of crazy, man. Life is precious, and got to be thankful for it every day and try to live as good as we can.
Absolutely, man. You're absolutely right, Marcelo. It's delicate and it's precious. And that's why, kind of like what we were just talking about, things, oh man, we got to just be grateful, man, and really strive for greatness and be there for each other, be empathetic to the problems around us as well, because it's so easy to judge. It's so easy to point fingers and do this, that, and the other. But man, we really have to shift our consciousness to a more empathetic consciousness if we're going to progress, moving forward, because we can't be going at
That's
each other's
as
throats.
humanity as a whole, not just paintball players. That's just right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Humanity as
Absolutely.
a whole. I agree. Dude, I saw something on Twitter last night that scared the living shit out of me, Tyler.
Is it a robot? What did we got?
Oh, it's worse. It's
AI?
it's these AI generated
Ugh.
videos now. So
Yeah.
I watched a video of President Biden.
Oh, yeah.
Disclaimer, I'm saying this before I say it. Disclaimer, it is not real, and I found that out shortly after. But I watched this video of President Biden saying that we are engaging in World War III with Russia, and the first to be eligible for the draft are individuals that turned 20 years old in the year 2023. And I mean, I just sat there like, what? It's happening. This is going down. What? And then the whole thing underneath it was you're watching a video and hearing his voice, and it was a fake AI generated thing.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I didn't get to that part first. So I'm watching and I'm like, what's happening? How is this not bigger news right now? And then it was, hey, this is fake, right? This is what we need to be concerned with when in regards to AI in the future. Oh my goodness, Tyler,
It's
the
insane.
misinformation that is possible with this. Policy needs to catch up as quick as possible on that, right? And
They're working really
fraud.
Yeah.
It should definitely be fraud. It should be a felony if there's any misinformation spread via videos appearing to be somebody else, saying things. But I just don't know how you even enforce that. Like an AI generated thing that's released from a hacker's IP address that bounces off different pings from, India, all these different places. I don't know how you catch it.
So I did watch, there's this awesome show called Sunday Morning. I think it's on CBS possibly. And they did a whole bit about this, and the software companies are working really, really hard right now to battle this because it's a huge problem. It's big and it's gotten out of hand really quickly. So what they're doing is they're not going to be able to tell you which videos are fake, but they will start to include a type of badge that shows authenticity. So
that's a brilliant idea. So yeah, I obviously was not. When I was trying to think of like, what do you do?
No.
How do you, of course you have to have policy that makes it, you want to deter the average person from getting a felony, right? So
you
it's not
can't
just
stop
rampant.
this thing.
But but I'm like, how would you catch, the really intelligent hackers that you can't trace it back to them? And I don't know much about computers, so maybe I'm speaking.
It's a wormhole.
Yeah, it's a wormhole. But my goodness, that's a great idea. Yeah, you just authenticate all of the stuff that is legitimate. Then that comes into there's a reverse kind of censoring thing there, because if you don't have that badge, are you now illegitimate?
See?
And that takes away the voice from, your everyday people in a way, kind of like Instagram and Twitter, right?
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But that is how they're navigating it at the moment. And I agree. I mean, if it's really bad misinformation that can cause damage or harm to people, there needs to be definitely some type of, there's something, you know what I mean? We can't have people getting hurt or anything bad happening to people because of AI. And then, but once again, it all has to trickle back. And I know nothing about this, to be honest. Like, it's like, I don't know what I'm even talking about, but I mean, it's going to get progressively more, I don't know, stronger.
Yeah, you would think you should be able to sue for like defamation of character and stuff like that if there's stuff from you that's put out that's inaccurate. I don't know. We're entering. I mean, it seems like we've been talking about AI for 2 years, and it seems like in the last month, all of a sudden everybody has AI, and it's like it exploded on the scene. That's how I feel. I don't know if I just missed the memo that it's been out, but I feel like it's everywhere you look now, which is super wild.
It's alive.
It's alive. Oh my God. Then I saw this other thing that this group of scientists are trying to get Congress to approve the ability to use human brain cells to power computers, because they think that they could have something more powerful than AI called OI.
Whoa.
I think it's like organ Intelligence. I don't know. Crazy stuff, dude. I saw that scrolling and I'm like, no, what are you doing? What are we doing? Wild.
Dude.
Wild.
Hey,
dude.
you gotta keep the threads popping. You know, they're definitely working hard.
Yeah. We have our guest. He's in here. He's in the green room. He's backstage. He's hanging out.
Let's go.
Yep. And we are about to bring him in.
Yes, sir.
Matty.
What's up, brother?
There he is. What up?
What's going on? For
What's
everybody
happening?
In PTG world, we got Matt, the gym rat. And
yes,
he's
sir.
on PTG. Thank you so much for joining us, dude. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just enjoying a night. I just got back from the gym, cooked me up some food, ate it. Now I'm chilling.
There
nice.
we go.
What'd you cook up?
I had pork chops tonight and Brussels sprouts with white rice.
Solid.
Right, my guy. Nice. Dude, white rice is the move. The whole brown rice fad was terrible. I still see people ordering brown rice thinking they're being healthy. And I'm like, your body doesn't know how to process that. It's not supposed to process that. You know, it's kind of crazy. Quick question for you. When you were backstage in the green room, were you able to hear what we were saying? Did you hear the conversation we're having about AI?
Yeah, and OI and all that other good stuff.
Yeah. Dude, it's wild right now, man. I mean, I don't even know how we battle that thing, but have you seen the kind of stuff that I'm talking about?
I try to steer away from it. I hear it all the time, you know, with social media. It's always stuff popping up, like the chat GPT stuff and things like that. Yeah. But I don't let it really affect what I do too much. So I'm just like, it is what it is. If it happens, it happens. I'm not going to stop anything by speaking what I think. So it's just, it is what it is.
Well, you're going to have to incorporate it at some point into your social media recipe, because it's going to become too powerful, and you're going to be able to create so much really witty, fun things with it as well. There's always a flip side to the coin, and there's there's always a flip side to the coin to everything. But with it, there's also going to be a lot of very interesting, creative characters and things that will be made as well. And congratulations, we got to say congrats to you. You hit 100K on YouTube. We've been doing our research. Way to go.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Been at the grindstone for a while now. Started in 2019, and so it's finally paid off. You know, it took me 3 years to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then after that it just kept going. So
no way.
It's been really fortunate, just the journey and all the people that I got to meet along the way. It's really awesome. I never saw myself here, so just to be here and kind of experience it all is really it's something else. It is.
Dude, that's outstanding. So I want to know, talk to me about the first 3 years where you picked up 100 subs, but you're still passionate, you're still creating, you're still in love with your process, you're still having fun and making really good creative content. So talk to me about the 3 years. The numbers don't matter, right? I mean, that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of and it might be different for y'all, but I feel like it's kind of like looking at a prize package going into a paintball tournament. It's I don't play paintball to win money.
That's such a great point. Yeah.
And it's the same way. It's just looking at it from that way of it's a creative outlet, you know. I always tell people it's like getting a Lego set and building it and kind of showing people this is what I've made. Look at all this, you know, all these different pieces I have and putting it together. So it's really one of those things that gives me a creative outlet. I've been making videos since 2010 when I was in middle school, you know, doing dance videos, which if people want to find those, they can if they dig deep enough on the YouTube. But yeah, I've been making videos ever since then. And you know, I got into playing paintball with my brother in 2018, and then 2019 came around, and he's like, you should make videos on them. You're pretty good at it. So I just started there. And one of the biggest things that helped me was people coming up to me when I had 200 subs and 300 subs, and people telling me at the local field, oh, I watched your YouTube videos before. And just hearing that whenever I'd get 200, 300 views on a video, it was really big to me, and it kept me going, knowing that there was people out there that were actually enjoying the content I was putting out. So it was a huge, you know, feedback loop of just people constantly saying yeah, man, I really like your videos. You know, I watch them, and meeting people I've never seen before, telling me that they've seen me, or you're the YouTube guy. I was like, yeah, that's me. So it just that feedback just kept coming in, and it really keeps you motivated when you have things like that are, you know, giving you that serotonin and dopamine hits that you know, that you're looking for in life. So it was it's really awesome.
Yeah. And you got a catchy name. The name's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Goes well.
I just there was a comment today on YouTube. One of the guys was like, paintball has given me so much to my life. He was talking about how like he used to, just be a loner, and now that he's got like this paintball family. I was like, it was the same way for me when in college I got there. I transferred in, so I didn't go through the whole freshman year thing of like meeting everyone. So all I did was, go to the gym. So I went to the gym all the time. I even started working at the gym because I like being there so much. And I started playing paintball, and everything changed. I went from trying to, find things to do on the weekends to like, I know what I'm doing this weekend. I know what I'm doing next weekend and the weekend after. So, and it really gave me some motivation to work harder. So that's where the name came from too, is the Matt the Gym Rat name. It came from me being in the gym so much. I fell in love with it when I was like 12, and then been working out ever since, for like football. And then once I got into college, bodybuilding, and then kind of moved into paintball and trying to become the best athlete I can be.
Yeah, it's so important, man. Being in the gym is so important on so many levels. Just
Absolutely.
it keeps you fresh in so many ways. Not obviously, the physicality, you feel good on a physical level, but psychologically, it is a huge boost to get any type of exercise. You don't have to be in the gym. Any type of exercise is going to release this amazing boost to your overall experience as a human.
Yeah, definitely. I know that y'all two are pretty big on it. I know Marcel is a big advocate of working out. One of the biggest that I've heard of so far in the paintball space. But just overall general life, quality of life it makes for you, it's huge, man. I mean, the amount of stress that you can go under when you're not working out, those things that help that relief, it's been big. I'm one of those people that have definitely seen it to where going through school and going through, multiple exams, getting an engineering degree. It was really hard, but, being able to have an outlet like paintball and an outlet like working out, it's been huge to really relieve that stress and give me something to look forward to, towards the end of the day.
Well, what's funny about that is the mechanism in which it's happening is you're actually putting a lot of stress on your body, but that stress does give you the ability to deal with stress better, and you do release hormones and endorphins and things that make you feel good, right? And that's kind of what heat therapy, cold therapy, all that kind of stuff, same thing. It's about putting the different stresses on your body. Your body responds well to stress. And actually, I'm looking back on your YouTube page right now. It looks like your very first video is about 9 years ago on this one. If I'm on the right, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the right one. Yeah.
Oh man, already we're digging in deep already. All right.
I don't see any dance ones. I was going to ask you if I could pull up a dance one and share it, but I don't see any of those. But I see a lot of workout ones. Looks like you're pretty jacked at a young age. How old were you in those?
Oh, dude, I was like 16 in the early ones.
Yeah.
I was fairly strong like the whole entire we started working out, and like our whole entire high school had this grind mentality because we were bad at football, so we had to work our butts off to get better.
Nice.
But yeah, I just like started out early. I had a couple of people I looked up to that were really strong and always trying to get stronger. So like we were always in there. I kind of like started a morning workout club at the high school too, where we got in at 6 and would work out in the mornings, and then I would work out in the afternoons too, and then go to practice. So I kind of like, as soon as I started lifting weights, I immediately fell in love with it. So you can kind of see like my evolution of coming up, how I went through all the things of, starting content and just recording on my phone to go into college and recording and, just doing all the other stuff that I did there.
100%, dude. Yeah, you've been at this for a long time, and I think it's a cool thing to highlight for people. And Tyler and myself, actually, it's a great. I love that you said, the first 3 years, you only had 1,000 subscribers, and then it started to take off. We're entering our 3rd year, right? And it's like, if you don't give up on something and you stay consistent with it over time, if there's value there, if you're, putting out good content, it's going to happen, but a lot of people give up on stuff a little too early. They don't see results as fast as they maybe thought that they would have. And they think that's it. And often people will think that they're being patient as well. They'll say, well, I'll give it another 6 months. Right. So they give it another 6 months and they still don't see it. And they say, oh, I gave it my time and I gave it another 6 months, but really you're not being realistic with the actual time that it takes. Here we are 9 years later with this channel, 100,000 subscribers. I would like to pick your brain on what it was that you think kind of changed that. Was it posting a lot of shorts? Was it thumbnails on the video, like for up and coming creators? What do you think it was that really started to help the channel skyrocket?
I would be amiss to say that it wasn't shorts. I think shorts definitely took it off. YouTube's like small. I actually started on TikTok, and funny enough, I'll give y'all a lot of credit here. When y'all had, I think his name's Gio on in 2021, he was talking about how you just got to kind of put yourself out there, and I started posting every day. And on the third day, I had a video that hit 44 million views on TikTok.
Nice.
Holy moly, dude! Nice work.
So that
you think those are real?
I do, because what the TikTok algorithm does is it doesn't limit it. So a lot of times, like YouTube and stuff like that will limit it to regions.
Right.
And I think TikTok is kind of like like just an open area, and they kind of throw content out there, and whatever sticks. And there's just so many people on, because I mean, YouTube probably has the same amount of people, if not more. And they just kind of, region lock your things to, whatever's sticking. So if, a lot of people are watching in India, then your stuff's going to get pushed more in India. But like on TikTok, if a lot of people are watching it, they're going to show it to more people, regardless of like where they're at.
Got it.
And I
just don't trust TikTok that much. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, you're not the only one, man. You're not the only one. I don't trust a lot of this stuff either, but I know like it has helped me grow a lot as a social media, or in my social media life. So, I did that. And then, after that in 2021, I had the video that's been on Sports Center that y'all seen before, my brother kind of just shooting his gun. And that one got 70 million views. And then a week later, I had another one that hit 40 million, and then another one that hit 40 million, and then another one that hit 40 million.
Let's go.
So it was just like, epic. Yeah, that was all in 2021. So that was around the same time that like, or it was right before like Rye Guy's stuff started popping off. So I'm sure y'all remember that whenever he was having all his stuff pop off. So it was right before then, but I kind of I feel like I always got the short end of the stick, because I was all divisional stuff, and didn't really have anything to do with the pro guys. So I kind of got like overlooked, even though I was doing 200 million views in 6 months. And I was okay with it. I knew like eventually my time would come.
Real quick, overlooked in what sense? What do you mean?
Just like, discussions about like content creators and things like that. Like, a lot of people would bring up other
That's
people.
fair.
And, I mean,
That's
even last year, my goal was to kind of be unavoidable, and that worked out for me. But still, like, my name doesn't get brought up in discussions when we talk about paintball content creators too much. It's usually other guys.
Well, you better believe after today, it's out there, bud.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You're on the airwaves.
Yeah. My goal for 2023 is to be the best. So last year was to be unavoidable, and this year was to be the best. So,
well, you know what our goal is here at PTG is to help others be the best. And we want to make sure that you're successful in every possible way. So you make sure you tag us in everything. We're going to push all your content. And if you don't follow my man's on TikTok, he's got 1.3 million followers. Is that right?
Yeah.
On TikTok.
I passed Marky, but he just caught up to me.
Yeah.
So I was the biggest paintball channel on TikTok, and then Marky just caught up to me. So we're
that's Big Daddy H.
I mean, that's huge, dude. That's huge. And that's something that, to quantify it. Again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I was doing a show with Junior from Black Friday Paintball this morning, and we were talking about how this thing overnight can pop. And by this thing, I mean paintball. Because we're in this era where, those clips that were posted to Sports Center and ESPN outperformed every clip around them. So people are interested. And I think maybe that's why shorts have done so well on things like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, is because people are interested in paintballs, shooting a paintball, bunkering somebody, even just loading. Seems like that's what they really love. They love loading and shooting, people love it because it's so interesting. It kind of sounds cool as well as it's happening. So people like yourself that are doing this, day in and day out, getting our game in front of, millions of people is huge and
monumental.
Kind of overnight. Because what demands people's dollars? Attention, ad revenue. People care about how many people are seeing it, period. The Super Bowl, a 30-second commercial was $7 million. A 30-second commercial. $7 million. It's gone up like $500,000 every year for the last, I don't know, 10 years. And then before that, it like took a huge leap. It's like this crazy stat. And it's all about how many people are seeing it. So paintball, same thing. If we have this data where we can present to sponsors that there's this many people interested in this, that, the other thing that has to do with paintball, it's eventually going to catch on. And eventually some big sponsor is going to say, yeah, we can't ignore this anymore. Like you said, Maddie, you're going to be unavoidable. Right. So it's something I know Tyler and myself have said we want to strive to do better with the shorts, reels and things like that, because that short form content is really catchy, really good. It's great for the sport to have out there. But you're definitely one of the creators that's doing a lot of that, and it's really good for the game. So very happy to have you on, actually.
Yeah.
And you are
Thank
right.
you.
You are right. Definitely don't get the credit you deserve.
Yeah, and now it's going more from just pushing out as many shorts as you can to the quality of the shorts. If you look a lot into what's popping up on your feed, you're seeing subtitles in there, and they're changing colors. You're seeing B-roll and shots, and you're seeing whole entire shorts themed around the same way that you would do large format videos, kind of like the ones that I really focus a lot of my time on. And that's where shorts are going, to where it's going to be more quality shorts of things that actually have a story to it and can keep attention. So it's going more away from the so much that brought shorts to the front and brought reels to the front. Kind of what I became popular off. Verbri guy, any of those other creators that you see out there that are doing a tremendous job. It's kind of going away from that, and there is a space for that, but there's now a new space and a new demand for super high quality shorts of things being, put time into, and having stories and thought out, and actually having a reason behind why people watch it. So that's the next step. And, for me, I've already been doing that with long format content of focusing on retention, getting people's attention and keeping it there, and building a story, and something that makes people want to sit down and watch it all the way through. And it sounds very scientific when I talk about it, but in reality, it's just trying to get people interested in paintball. And so like things like that is the newest focus. And so that's something I'm trying to do now, is where you might see less of my content, but it's going to be higher quality content where I'm focusing more on what's being put out there and less of just putting it out there. So,
yeah. No, you're doing such big work in the game, man, and we're so grateful for you. And that's as a whole, like the community of paintball is grateful for you, because you are helping to get our sport in front of so many eyeballs. And thank you to all the creators out there. You named a few of them. There's so many, and you all are crushing it. And we are so grateful for all of you out there who are creating paintball content, the reels, the long take, short take, whatever, really pushing it to the mainstream so that we can have paintball on people's eyeballs, and they are thinking about paintball and wanting to play it, and then building teams. And then we have fields popping up, and it just continues to grow and flourish, because it's got, give me a list. There's a whole list of attributes to this thing that make it so special, so it's a magical sport, and it's going to keep flourishing as long as we all keep doing our jobs and having fun, staying safe, and promoting it in the right way. It's got no other way to go.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a new video coming out here. I'll give a little teaser.
Hey, let's go.
I've actually got it up on my other screen. I was working on it before I came up.
Nice.
But it's getting shot by every paintball possible. And so basically, I went all the way to a riot round. So it was an all metal paintball. So I'm excited to do that. But yeah, talking about like,
what do you mean an all paintball? Hold on a second. What are you talking about?
It was
like police.
Yeah, you can go on Amazon and get them, and I don't want to give anybody an idea, but it's just a metal ball that was like wrapped.
Oh yeah,
in PVC.
We don't recommend this.
And we were, I was just like, I gotta get a bad one, so I went all the way up to like a first strike round, and then I was like, this is gonna be it. But
damn.
Hold on, so it's a metal ball wrapped in PVC.
Yeah, it's just like a like a metal ball bearing, and then it's got PVC basically as like the outer shell of it.
Hollow kind of metal ball.
No, it's solid.
It's a ball bearing.
How does that not go? What do you mean?
What
did this do?
My friends would not let me get shot with my shirt off. I got shot with my shirt off, all the rest of them.
Yeah.
But
The
they wouldn't let
shirt,
me
the
get.
shirt is what saved you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it hit me right on my delt insertion, my front delt, and I couldn't do chest or shoulders for a week straight.
Bro.
Dang,
So,
dude.
yeah, just I'll have that out.
Okay.
I think
Did you have
Thursday
pepper
or
balls?
Friday. I didn't, so I thought I'd just
Okay.
go with one really bad one, and so
Oh,
it was
gotcha.
like first strike with no shirt on, and then I went straight to the
Yeah.
riot
Big
rounds.
kahuna.
Those first strike rounds, they go sizzling through the air, man.
Oh, dude, yeah, especially
Yeah.
and then I took one 20 yards away with no shirt on, straight to my back. So that'll just get people kind of excited, but just like going for some concepts like that, and I'll turn that into a short too. Hopefully, it won't get demonetized with me getting shot in my back and
I know,
blood and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just always trying to one up and actually come up with good concepts. I did start off doing like vlogs and stuff, and like that's cool and all, but if you look now, like Mr. Beast is a big person I kind of base a lot of my stuff off of now.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, you got to have concepts to your videos, and you have to have a reason behind it, or else people don't have a reason to watch. So that's kind of like where I've been going at now, is just getting reasons. I've been talking to some people just about doing videos with them, so getting other people involved in it. And I think this year is gonna turn out really good. I've got some really good ideas sitting in the memory bank. I've got them all written down, and
good.
Scripts for them already written for like intros, setting a hook, trying to get people interested in the video, all that stuff to really make really good videos.
Now, do you think it's important to have like a reason or concept that is for all of your content, like the same reason or concept, or do you mean per video? Like, should there be a theme?
It's per video. It's all paintball related, but it's per video. So like the one is getting shot. What does it feel to get shot by every paintball? Or how does it feel to get shot by every paintball? World Cup, I did the what is it like to play in the world's biggest tournament, and that video got 230,000 views, and that was a 16-minute long video.
Nice.
So like that was one that did really well, and it really just came all together. I made sure I had the whole entire like intro set out, and I did it walking into World Cup. I was like, what is it like to play in the world's biggest paintball tournament, just kind of talking about it. And I had two camera guys with me. Luckily, two of my really close friends and my videographers from 40 Media, that's Will and Alex. And they both had cameras on both sides of the field. And I told Alex, I said, as soon as we're done with the match, come and grab me. I was like, I want as raw emotions as we can get. We got Brad from Rody's Paintball to film in the pits too. So we got the emotions in the pits. And then I had my GoPro on there, so we kind of got all of the angles put in together and really built a really good story about the world's biggest paintball tournament ever, and what it's like to play in it. So really just built up the day, didn't waste too much time with all like the kind of BS stuff that happens. I was just like, it's 4 matches. If we win these, we get to move on to play for the world title. If we lose them, and the story builds as you go on to like, hey, this is a must-win match. We have to win this or we go home. And kind of building on that, really making the story something to be interested in.
Fantastic, dude. That kind of stuff. So what you just said at the end there kind of reminds me of the Heroines documentary that just came out. Like, they do such a good job of telling the story to where if you have never seen paintball before or have no understanding of organized tournament paintball, you'll be interested. You can follow like what this game means, what's going on. You at least have some sort of understanding of it. And I think that is the direction forward. Go Sports is fantastic, but if you don't know the game and you don't understand, like, yeah, Maddie and Rich, they do a good job of kind of narrating what's happening, but there's something a little different that these short form kind of, documentaries can do. And actually, forget short form. I wish we would do a long form thing. We were just talking about, I don't remember if I brought it up on the last show or not, but obviously I assume you've seen Formula One Drive to Survive.
I haven't. I actually was listening to y'all the other day, and y'all were saying how bad you have to watch it. And I was like, I should watch this. And then I never did.
Well, it's fantastic. It makes you fall in love with Formula One. Formula One has kind of exploded on the scene since that documentary has been released. They just released Full Swing on Netflix, and it's the same concept, but around golf, right? And it follows a bunch of different pro golfers. And really, it's just all about their lifestyle, right? It's about their lifestyle and everything that goes into the actual competition. It's not as much as, you know, them at the tournament actually playing golf, which is still in there and it's still interesting, but the storyline is what people care about. The adversity and like why this tournament means so much to this one player, you know, that's the stuff that is like captivating. And, you know, I believe that's going to make people continue to fall in love with golf even more.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say that's why, you know, y'all's podcast is so successful too. Is when y'all would have so many people on here and talk about their stories. I remember listening when y'all first started and just hearing the stories of people back in the day, what they would do. Cause I started playing in 2018. So my knowledge of paintball was so small. And then, you know, listening to these people that y'all had come on, talk about their stories, you know, and what they used to do back in the day and who they were around, and just hearing how like people came up playing with these people and they've been playing with the same guys for 20 years, 25 years. It really builds a story that people were interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you're, you know, a young player like myself, someone striving to get better, you can also pull a lot of information from that to grow as a player and just, you know, not have to go through the same learning struggles that a lot of these people have been through. I think Ryan Smith, when he was talking about how they used to play a ton of tournaments every year in Canada and in the NXL, and how they were, you know, just playing all the time. I listened to that and I really took that to heart. And so I just started playing as many tournaments as I could. And I think I've played like 23 tournaments in the past 2 years, just to kind of get better as a player. And so like just those learning experiences and those stories really, you know, taking it to heart and becoming interested in it. And I think that's probably, you know, not saying that y'all don't put a ton of work in, but I definitely think that, you know, success comes from, you know, the amount of retention you can have in content. And that's something that y'all have been able to do with having these people come on and tell stories. And even the stories that y'all tell from the weekend before of practice or the tournaments that y'all played in, it's still a huge driver to why, you know, this podcast is so successful.
Damn, dude. Thank you so much. And honestly, we're the lucky ones. We get to hang out with so many unique people on the show, such as yourself included, you know, and we learn a tremendous amount every time we do this and we have all these episodes. So we really feel like the lucky ones and we're able to share it. And you're so smart in diving into the content and really taking it to heart, because anybody who does that is going to inadvertently just become so much deeper in that facet, you know, and it shows where your heart is. It shows your care. It shows, you know, where you're applying the most pressure. And that's why you're seeing the results that you're seeing as you move forward in this game. You know, it all sounds easy. I'm going to start becoming a media guy. I'm going to start playing paintball. I'm going pro. I'm going to have 100,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. All sounds so easy and it looks so easy, but it's not. It's not at all. You got to dig deep and you got to pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps sometime when you're kicked down to the dirt, you know, and you got to make it count when the chips are against you. And that's really what sets everyone apart, you know. And I know that you do those things just by hearing you talk, just by hearing your cadence and the way that you approach your social media aspects and the way that you approach paintball. And that's the biggest nugget you could take away from this conversation, is that, you know, it's not easy. it's so difficult, but it's worth it when you enjoy it and you love it. Actually, Zizek was just on the show. Did you listen to that episode?
I did.
He was talking about the bar method, right? The belief, the action, the results. The belief drives the action drives the results, and then the results turn it back into the belief where I believe even more, and it keeps going. Yeah. But what's at the middle? You got to love it. You got to have heart. You got to have your heart in it. And when you actually love something, you're going to go the distance. And that's why you got 1.3 M, you know what I mean? And you got 100K on the YouTube, and you're continuing to crush it. And we can't wait to see your paintball career continue to flourish as well. You say you've only been playing tournament style paintball for how long?
So I started in 2018 and played my first full season in 2019.
Dude, that's amazing. Awesome. So
yeah, and for
the last, yeah, go ahead, Mark.
For the listeners, can we kind of walk through that process? What division you play now, what team you're with, and your long-term goals?
Yeah, definitely. So currently I'm playing with Carolina Clutch. We're Division 3. I've been playing Division 3 now for this is my third year. So started out playing Division 5 in 2018. We just kind of messed around. It was when I was home in summer for college. 2019 we got serious. We actually started practicing and going out. We played a full tournament series. Did pretty well. We got second in the series of the CPXL, which is the Carolina Premier X Ball League. And then from there on, it just kind of set a fire under my behind that, we got a second in the second tournament of the year. And after that, I was at home doing snap shooting drills in my mirror, doing running gun and drills, like holding my barrel at targets on the walls, doing pull up drills, just pulling my gun up, have my barrel pointed at a certain target on the wall, and really just fell in love. And now I'm to the point where I play or I drill, every Saturday that I can. I can't get out too much on the weekdays, but when I can, I go out and drill. Me and Chris Shear, actually your new teammate, go out there a good bit and drill.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, out in Charlotte at Rock Hill, we'll always go out there and get as many drills done as we can. And then Sundays are usually drills and points. So now I'm to the point now where I've just taken in, because part of being a content creator is consuming it, and I think I've watched every possible paintball video on YouTube now, to the point where I just get all the new stuff that comes out. So if you've ever posted a paintball video on YouTube, I've definitely seen it.
Who's your all-time favorite?
Wow.
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
All-time favorite for
For
YouTube?
paintball, yeah, YouTube.
Oh, you see, Ronnie gave me all the inspiration to start off.
That's
Like
my
starting
dogs.
starting off it was Davies Docs, and I had Bang Bang instead of Gang Gang. I did the whole thing just to kind of play off of him to see if he'd ever notice. But definitely there's a ton of people I've driven or I've taken so much inspiration from. Ryan Moffat's a huge one. I mean, his most recent video on the Balls energy drink. If you haven't
Yeah.
seen it, it's you feel like you're watching a guy that's got 2 million subscribers on YouTube when he does the video. It's really good. But there's just so many people that I've taken inspiration from, because all art is not original. It's always inspired. So I definitely get inspired from all the people that post. Greg Montalvo is another one, from How to Play Paintball. That guy has been great at just constantly posting content for the past feels like 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
But there's just anyone that's consistently put out content has been an inspiration to myself, and definitely holds a spot on the Mount Rushmore of YouTube for myself. Any of those guys that have been at it for as long as you can think. So another person that I can think of is Steven Von Peterson. So SVP Paintball. That guy makes some of the best content on YouTube for educational purposes. If you ever get to watch his stuff, he has videos breaking down how to play, the front position, the back player's guide, mid player's guide, why you're stuck in D5, why you're stuck in D4. He has all of these videos out, and they're all really well thought out videos that he put a lot of time into, and you can tell when you watch them. So those are just people that I always draw inspiration from, and I see their videos and their content, and it motivates me to step up my game and really get it to the next level.
Yeah. I know, man. Some of the OG YouTube stuff is so classic. Like for me, watching Cassidy Sanders videos just never get old.
Dude, HK
Yeah.
2011, was
Yeah.
it the Las Vegas edit?
Vegas.
I think I've probably watched that 200 to 300 times. Me and my brother, do everything together. We've played on every team that I've played on for the most part, since we started playing. And he's just as good of a player as I am. But we still think that's the best, video on YouTube as far as paintball goes.
Crazy.
That one's up there for sure.
The clips of just the paintballs flying in the air, and then the backstory to that. If you watch One Night in November, understand the whole entire backstory to that. But that documentary is definitely my favorite when it comes to paintball documentaries. That and 15, which y'all are both in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those are two that really are up there for as far as like paintball videos. I've probably watched 15 and One Night in November probably 20 times each. So it's one of those that stays in the replay as far as whenever I need my paintball fix of a good storytelling, event winning, type of paintball video. It's definitely up there.
And that new HK one they just dropped is a banger too.
Ooh,
that was really good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
They crushed it, dude. I loved that video. They just did a great job. It's just an inclusive video. It's not all, only HK teams. It's everyone. It does a good job of telling like the story of World Cup and capturing the essence of being there. Like the feeling you get when you're there. I felt like it was translated through that video. I really do. You did a fantastic job for sure.
Yeah, that was DQ Films.
Yeah, DQ Films. Shout out to DQ.
He's a goat. He's a goat, man. He's one of the goats. But yeah, I definitely got goosebumps watching it. That's something that tells me that there's something deep there whenever you get goosebumps watching a video. And so like that 2011 HK video, and then this recent one, I got goosebumps watching it. So it's one of those things when I'm watching it, especially from a creative perspective of thinking how much time that took him to make all that. I can't imagine, because there's some videos, if you go watch like 2021, we went got second at World Cup in Division 3. And if you watch those videos, I probably spent 40 hours on each of those videos, part 1 and part 2. And
Damn.
Those were, like I felt like some of the best. And, people like my brother will tell me like, yeah, those are some of your best videos, because he's watched all my videos and is very critical on all of them, which is very good for me, because then I know what to fix. But yeah, it's just like one of those things where it's like, I know how much time I spent on that, so I can't imagine how much time he spent on it with the amount of effects that you see in there and all the things that are happening. So definitely props up to DQ for that.
Yeah.
How did you learn how to curate these videos and do the graphics and, splice things together? How did you go to school for it, or just YouTube?
Yeah, I wish I went to school for it, man. Sometimes I kick myself that I didn't. I went to school for engineering. But no, all YouTube stuff. So I started getting kind of like into it in 2017, and then as I get more deeper in these edits and I'm taking inspiration from people and I'm seeing them do stuff, I'm like, I really want to do that type of transition. I really want to have this type of color on it. How does this light flicker whenever it happens? And I just YouTubed everything. And after doing it for 5 years straight of just YouTubing this, YouTubing that, you eventually, get down a really consistent pattern of it, and then posting as much as I post and as much as I work on it. I'm on Adobe Premiere Pro every day. Regardless of what's happening. The only time I'm not on it is when I'm not home. So like I'm on it every day, constantly doing things. So I'm learning. If there's something new that I want to do, I'll do it. And then, if the next video is happening, I'm going to do it again. And eventually it's, reinforcement. But yeah, it was all through YouTube.
Nice, man.
Well, yeah. Love that, dude.
You definitely killed it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. There's still some people like CJ's edits are still one of those things that I'm trying to get to, and the color grading of like Enrique, all the stuff that I see that happens. I still want to learn a ton. Me and Will from 40 Media, he's the guy that I really owe a lot of my success to, because he comes out every weekend and just films me for free. We were friends in college, and when I graduated, he was kind of like struggling to keep up as we were moving up the divisions, and he was like, I'm just gonna come out and film you, dude. And I was like, all right. But we're always talking about how we can do better things, all the angles that we can work. He practices shooting layouts, which is huge, because then the angles that you have to set up at to get the best clips. And so we're always like talking to each other about how we can do better. So things like that, of learning to do these edits, color grading, improving our cameras, what lenses should we get, memory cards, batteries, the whole 9 yards of what we need to do to get better. We're just always trying to figure it out so that we can, do the next best thing.
Yeah. I love that, dude.
Dude, the media aspect of your eye and attention to detail on what's going on in a paintball game, I think that anyone who does media at a high level would also be really good at being like a statistician for paintball, at being able to like pick up all the details that are going on, because you have to read the seams like a player to know where the shots are going to go, when they're going to happen. And those are the same qualities that you would need for someone who's trying to data stat the game and like have a good awareness of what's happening out there.
Yeah, I've watched myself play so much now that I know, like, I can figure out where I got shot from, going back and watching footage, and then figure out where other people get shot from now, just by watching so much footage. Even when I'm not editing, I'm still watching paintball. When I'm at work, I'll have YouTube up watching paintball. So it's one of those things now where I'm at the point to like, if I see someone get shot, I can definitely figure out where they're getting shot at. And I've learned a lot just off of that alone, of even when I'm
Yeah.
playing, seeing my friends get shot or my teammates get shot. I'm like, I know where he got shot from, or I see him make a move and they
Certainly.
walk
Yeah.
out. I see him make a move and they walk out. I'm like, well, that guy's, in the 50
Yeah.
burrito.
Yeah.
So just things like that, you learn the angles very quickly, and it
Mhm.
definitely makes you a lot better whenever you can,
Yeah.
when you're able to analyze videos and break them down and then apply it to, real life situations.
Oh man, that's imperative, especially as we move into the future. The best players in the world are watching paintball. They're watching film. And do you guys set up a camera at your practices or anything like that to film your guys' team? And if you do, how do you do it?
Yeah, well, like I said, Will comes out and films every weekend. So we've got our own cameraman basically, and so we'll have footage from him. And then usually what I do is I'll set up a GoPro in one of the corners with a wide angle, so you can kind of see pretty much half the field.
Yeah.
So we usually have an entire field covered as far as like moves. And then
Hmm.
with it's not always team reviews, but like me and my brother are very analytical on each other, so we'll sit down in Discord and just watch film over film, and we'll talk about what we could have done better. Where communication dropped off, what zones were dropped, things like that. And I've come to realize, and I'm sure y'all know this, but like there's always something you could have done to win the match. And so basically going into that point to where it's like, okay, what could I have done here to make sure that
Mm,
we won the match? And basically breaking that down. And that footage helps a ton to where you can really analyze or hyper analyze everything that you could have
mhm.
done to make sure that you win paintball tournaments or paintball matches, which
Yeah.
in turn helps you win paintball tournaments.
Dude, absolutely. It's I feel like it needs to be a staple. Like it's not that difficult having the GoPro with the wide angle and then you upload it, people look at it. It's pretty simple to be honest. Like and it definitely should be a staple for most teams because how else do you have accountability? There has to be accountability. And I love that you brought up the fact that people are so hard on you and you appreciate it because it makes you better. Your brother's hypercritical. It makes you know which direction to go, those types of things. It's very important to be open to that type of criticism as well because some people just aren't open to having those conversations and that's totally fine as well, but if you want to really be self-observant and be accountable and have a good pathway, you need to be hypercritical about this stuff and take it very seriously in order to become the best at anything that you do essentially, right?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I kind of analyzed it a while back, just like if I want to be the best at something, how do I become the best? And I realized that if I'm hard headed and don't listen, then that's definitely holding me back. So
Mm,
if I accept every tip or every criticism that people have, then I can assess it inside instead of not allowing it to come in and then assess it instead of cutting it off. And then that definitely helps me open my horizons. That's something that's helped me in my content. I went to Texas to PB Fit for their Mech X Ball event, and my brother was kind of like, I didn't really realize why you were there and what the reason was, for the tournament, for the Mech X Ball tournament and things like that. And I was like, okay. So going into World Cup, I made sure to talk about it, and I made sure to say like, hey, we're here because this is the final tournament. This is a tournament everyone goes to. If you win this, you go down in paintball history, regardless of where you're playing or what you're doing. And that helped that video do really well because then everyone understood. And so just taking
Yeah,
in
totally.
criticism regardless of who it's from, I was like, my brother doesn't know anything about content creation, but him telling me that made me think, oh yeah,
yeah.
if he didn't know why I was there and he plays paintball, like what are the people that don't play paintball going to think? So it really just
Yeah.
like taking in as much criticism as I can. And just those tips of information, you can dissect them into what you really need to take from it and improve
Mhm.
on it.
Yeah, and apply it. If you need to apply it, apply it. If it's something that you feel like you got a good rap on and then take it as a kernel of knowledge as well to move forward with. But if you're not getting information, that's a really bad place to be. You want to have as much information flowing your way as possible. People telling you, like, tell me everything, please. That way, without that, you have no point of reference to bounce off of anything. How do you know where to go? if you have nothing to bounce off of. You've got to have those points of reference in order to become great. I mean, really, if you want to become really great, you have to have points of reference to bounce off of.
Definitely, I agree. Yeah, you come from a place of someone who completely understands it. I'm sure Marcel is in the same area where coming up playing paintball, and y'all basically have set a new, a new tone of how paintball should be played. That you've taken all of these tips of information and all the things that you figured out, and you've made this formula of what you have to do to be a professional paintball player. And not only that, but be one of the best, right? You've found out what you have to do at the field to become better and what it takes from you to be the best player that you can be. And so that's something. And like I tell people always ask me why I play paintball. And it's like, it's because it's something where you fall in love with the process, because you can never be perfect.
Yeah.
If I can go out on the field and shoot 5 people with 5 paintballs, then I'll retire.
Hey, you stealing my line.
Is that
you
what
stealing my line?
I'm sorry. But
dude, that is literally what I've said for over a decade. I'm like, look, until you can get to a point to where every single time you pull up off the gate, you can shoot 5 paintballs and hit 5 people in a 5-man game, then there's room for improvement. But until that point, there's work to be done.
Yeah, man. I love it too. I think that's one of the reasons why I've become so successful in social media, is just falling in love with the process. Is I love going out and doing drills now. Like, there is nothing stopping me. The other day I spent 9 hours out on the field, and I couldn't move my hands when I got home because I was snap shooting and holding my gun so long. And I was like, I gotta play tomorrow too. But just like focusing so much on, falling in love with that process, because like everyone says, you lose more than you win in paintball. And I've really fallen in love with learning from losing and just trying to improve on it in that process of getting better every single time, because, we're never going to be perfect regardless of what we do. And so that's a forever chase that I have with myself of, continuing that process of growth.
Love that.
100%, dude. Matt, do you mind if I ask you a somewhat personal question just for the listeners? I'm sure there's a lot of aspiring media listeners that want to know kind of what that looks like. With the following that you have and the frequency in which you post, how lucrative is it? Is it making you decent money?
I wish I could say I've earned more than I spent on paintball, but it's not cheap, man. I started playing in college, and to be honest now, if I had to put a number on it, because I do want to be very transparent and I feel like it helps people, with sponsorships and ad revenue, I'll probably make 20K this year. And that's, you can't live
nice
off
boost.
but you can't live off of it. Right. So
Totally.
that's something that's big. And last year I probably made 10. And the year before I made 0. So
that's in the right direction though.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But that all goes back into me playing, me traveling, me paying for media, me paying for the things I need to make the media happen. It all goes back into it. So until the day that I can, really, pay the bills that I have to pay on it, it's just gonna be a continuous battle. But
another deposit.
Hey, just like the shirt says, right? It's just gonna be another deposit. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it can be lucrative, but long form content is the best way to monetize. And that's not the only reason I focus on it, because long form content is also the best way to allow me to be creative and show people my true personal self. And so that's why I enjoy doing it so much. But it is the highest grossing when it comes to the ad revenue that you gain from it.
Is that simply because there's more time in each video to have more ads from YouTube?
Yes.
Pretty basic. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, for shorts, every 5 shorts you'll see an ad. So if you chop that up, and the ads are a lot shorter. Also, when it comes to sponsorships, with shorts, you don't have as much of a personal tie with the person, whereas long form content, you're invested into the person. If you continuously watch them, you trust that person, whereas short form content, you kind of are there for the entertainment fix and then you're on to the next one. So there's things, that's why like Twitch streamers get paid a lot more in sponsorships than maybe YouTubers, based off of following and things like that, because they're a lot more influential. They're on the screen for 4+ hours every day. So it's kind of hard not for someone to see that person as themselves. Same thing with podcast. You're talking to, this however many listeners you have for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. They're a lot more trustworthy of you because they hear you and they talk about, they hear you and all your opinions. And it kind of scales down from there. But just saying all that, when an advertiser says like, hey, your audience is who I want to target, and we feel like you're worth it, that's something that they can kind of, gauge when they're saying, okay, this guy's got 100,000 people listen to his podcast every week. That means that, maybe 50,000 of those people are the people we're going to target. Maybe we can convert 1,000 of those customers. Whereas when it's shorts, it might be 1 million people seeing it, but how many people are clicking on the link, like going to your profile and clicking on the link and listening to your ad reads? So it's a lot different, right? And that's all just from a business perspective of them looking at it, because at the end of the day, they want to sell their products. So at the end of the day, they're looking at that.
But the shorts are a great way to drive in eyes to your page that does have the long form content that you can monetize and do well with. Yeah, I know that's something that we have talked about just trying to do better with. And huge shout out to Chris Tucker for creating a lot of the short form stuff. Unfortunately, I don't know that like a short form podcast clip does as well as like an action shot. Just people are loving paintball in like slow motion and seeing, paintball right now. But the Joe Rogan clips were definitely absolutely blew up. You find like a very interesting segment and have a 2, 3, 5 minute clip. So something that we need to look into, I believe. Do you have any, for us, if you give us one thing, what would you say Play the Game could do better?
Dude, we would have to have, I think that would be a great backstage talk, because I think I could probably talk your head off for like 2 or 3 hours of all the things that I've thought that y'all.
Damn, that much. Tyler, we're blowing it. He's like, I don't want to put him on blast here.
But no, he's trying to help.
That's just for me, from an analytical standpoint of being an engineer and somebody who's been doing, YouTube for so long and is, fallen in love with the process of just growing and becoming better. Like we said, stories, man, just building a story regardless of what you're doing, getting people invested, setting a hook, and really, giving the people something to be invested into. And with the short form, if maybe you do something, you could put some B-roll over it of maybe things happening. The motivational clips are huge now. So if you can just take a motivational quote from someone and put it over maybe them doing something or you doing something, or just a clip of you after you won World Cup raising your hand or something like that, and just have the clip there and, quick little, the subtitles of them saying it really quick. That's stuff that is huge and does well. But just really, I mean, the biggest thing is whatever you consume and you enjoy consuming and you find yourself coming back to, try and replicate it or take whatever you really enjoy from it and apply it. So if you really enjoy when people give you a quick short read before the ads start rolling, do that. If you really enjoy, like maybe there's a game in a podcast you listen to, like I listen to this gaming podcast and they do 20 questions and they have 20 questions to guess whatever the game is. Maybe that's something you could include, but just really take inspiration from things and build on it. Whatever you really enjoy, take that and apply it in your own twist, your own creative twist, and you'll definitely see more growth and more prosperity in whatever you're doing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just keep having fun with it. And I guarantee you, dude, you are going to be very well off monetarily and non-monetarily because of what you're doing. We talk about the gifts of the game, and you've been playing competitively for a few years now. So you're starting to see what those gifts are of the relationships and just the lifestyle of playing paintball, all those gifts. So just keep doing what you're doing, because we appreciate you and we love it. And I know we were talking about your paintball career over the last few years. How did you end up with, is it Enemy of the State? That's who you're playing with?
So they're a company that I'm working with.
Okay.
So those guys are awesome, man. They do some great designs on shirts. So they're really just, like one-off apparels where they, have certain drops, and whoever gets in gets it. But yeah, they just kind of hit me up and they're like, hey man, do you want to work together? And so we came to a mutual agreement, just working with them. They make some really awesome jerseys and some great shirts. The other guys I'm working with, so I'm playing with Clutch Division 3, Carolina Clutch. That's Ryan's team. So Ryan is an awesome guy out of the Carolinas. He has built up a great program out of there. I believe he had 5 total divisional teams between D4 and D5 last year, and then one NXL team. And then this year, I believe it's 6 or 7 teams in total between D4, D5. And then we're also going to play Bunker Fest and the NXL event. So he's just a guy that really gets, like, will take in anyone and put them on a team, regardless of your rank, and just really gives people a home in the Carolinas to play paintball. But yeah, I'm playing with Clutch this year.
Awesome. Shout out to North Carolina one time. Actually, the Dreamville Festival is coming to North Carolina soon. Have you heard about this? You're going to have Waka Flocka, Drake, J. Cole. Everybody's about to be out there.
Man. Yeah. So I know Waka Flocka is pretty popular with the paintball scene, but he's also big in like South Carolina where I came up. So he used to come out there all the time, perform all over the state. So there's a lot of people out there that love him.
He's the man. He was at my house with his whole posse one time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You know, personally then, dude, that's wild.
We had some good times. I was on stage running amok, DJ Who Kid. We had some fun. But yeah, they're going to be out there. Crazy times in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's coming up in early April. So look out for that. And I do want to dive into, obviously you're playing divisional. What are your aspirations as a player? Are you trying to go pro? Are you just enjoying the divisional run? And I think that's actually one of our Discord questions. We got a bunch of people in our Discord that are really excited that you're on the show, and can't wait to ask you some of these questions here shortly. And you got to pass. If you ever want to hop in and hang out with us in PTG world, we would be honored to have you as well. I think that'd be a lot of fun for the community. But yeah, what is your goals with paintball?
Oh, dude, my goal is always to be the best that I can be, regardless of what it is that I'm doing. If I have a passion for it, I want to be the best that I can be. Obviously, that means that it's playing professional paintball. And I'm sure you've met a ton of kids and guys that are in their mid-20s, late 30s, maybe even that say they want to play professional paintball, but they're not willing to put in the work. And like Ronnie Coleman says, everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but nobody will lift no heavy ass weights. So I've been in the gym, man, regardless of where I'm at, just like the shirt says, putting in another deposit. So I'm always trying to get out to the field as much as I can. I spend at least 2 days at the field now currently per week, but anytime I get out during the weekdays, I'm out there. So I'm just trying to be the best player I can be. And wherever that takes me, it takes me. So hopefully here in the future, I'm going to, work my way up. Actually, quick note. If you know anybody in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands that needs 2 semi-pro players for the first European event, let me know, because I'm trying to get over there and play.
There we go.
Me and my brother are. So, but yeah, I'm just always trying to do the next best thing that I can for myself as far as playing paintball. And like I said, if being the best me means that I'm playing professional paintball, then that's what it is.
I love that. And that was Jay Lamb. He said, Matt, shout out to the homie. Super pumped to see you on the show. You and I have had this conversation a few times, and he was the one who was asking what your ultimate goals are in paintball. Also, he was wondering, when will the Another Deposit merch drop?
Oh man, I'm working with Charles from Max Paintball. He's making Austin Notorious's jerseys this year. But he's an awesome guy, and so we've got some merch coming here soon. So definitely be on the lookout. I think I've got 4 different shirts and a jersey dropping. So there's definitely going to be a ton to pick from if any of those people are looking for that. Justin's one of those guys that's in the gym always tagging me on the Another Deposit grind. So I love it when people tag me, man, because it gives me a reason to stay motivated and keep going into the gym whenever I'm motivating other people. So it's really awesome feedback loop.
What type of workouts do you like to do to prepare yourself for paintball?
Oh, dude, I've heard you talk about this before, that you don't like running. I enjoy running, but that's usually towards the end.
My situation's a little different. Running's just not good for my knees because I have no medial meniscus in my left knee. So the impact isn't great. I do love the feeling you get from Like actually something that's been fantastic is, and I don't know what it's called, but you know that like banana shaped treadmill that is
Yep.
all mechanical. It's not electronic. That thing is fantastic.
Yeah.
I can get a really good workout and get some sprints. I love finding a grass hill and actually sprinting. I love that because it's like low impact on the knees. I put my cleats on, and so just to kind of clarify there, I don't hate running. It's just I have a specific reason for it, you know?
That's a good clarification because I've never heard that, but that's good. Yeah, and those curved treadmills literally sound like a jet engine when you're running on them.
Yeah, they sound pretty crazy.
I worked at a gym, and you could tell the gym was 500,000 square feet, and you could tell when somebody was running on it, regardless of where you were at in the gym. Because I went to Clemson University, and anyone that's been there knows the gym. But whenever I was working there, you could tell when someone was on it, regardless of where you were in the gym. So that thing is loud. But yeah, I've been going to do a 10-minute run currently and knock out about 1.5 miles doing that. But whenever I'm working out, high repetitions on squats is usually what I'm going for. A lot of compound movements to try and get my whole entire body involved there. So today I did chest and back. So I kind of made it quick because I wanted to get home and cook and get a good meal in before I got on here. So I just did bench press and then upright rows, did 6 sets of 10 for each of those, and then some bicep curls and then a 10-minute run. Leg days are a little bit different. So mostly focusing on, I realize that sometimes my legs get really worn out whenever I'm playing sometimes, especially like crawling through the snake. I really like to go all the way down the snake if I can. So a lot of times I'm crawling 40 plus yards, and sometimes my calves or my quads will fatigue. So focusing on doing really, really solid, good form squats. Deadlifts are another thing that I really enjoy. Straight leg deadlifts or Romanian deadlifts. Anything that's a big compound movement. And then I like to do some single leg explosion work. So I'll do a lot of like like lunges or something like that, to where I can focus on exploding off those legs to work on my speed. Because despite how many people tell me I look fast, I'm not fast, and I've never been fast. So I've just worked really hard at perfecting the form and trying to get as much out of it as I can. But always trying to focus on, improving when it comes to my endurance or muscular endurance. And then as far as explosion work.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. And also, like you said, you're playing a ton of tournaments, and that is arguably even a bigger hurdle, is the reps of playing high caliber tournament paintball and getting a lot of game experience, because, definitely working hard, working out is going to add to the resume, but having that, they say work smarter, not harder. And it really is applicable in paintball. It's like, you got to know when to thread this way, or when to do that, when to pull a player this way, when to navigate traffic. And the guy you got right up here in the corner, Marcelo, one of the best in the world to ever do it. So he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And it takes so long, right, Marcelo, to pick up all those details.
It's experience. You really can't rush it. You can't rush it. And it's like you said, details. It's about being mindful too. What you can do is give yourself a better chance. It's funny. I don't really want to put him on blast, but I'm going to. Harrison this weekend at our practice, he's come in and he has a few codes that he wants to implement that have been actually beneficial. But there was one where, now a lot of the teams are like laser, rocket, lefty, righty, Ricky, Lucy, some kind of R, some kind of left if you get a kill off of that side. And he was saying, we should implement something. We did it on Infamous, that if you lose a player from a side, right? And I disagreed with him right away, and he didn't understand why. And I was like, all you do is say ball one Harrison, and then everybody knows where that came from. And he's like, well, what if someone doesn't know where Harrison was playing? And I said,
oh no.
Then they're not on the field. If you don't know, and this is probably shocking to a lot of the players, if you don't know where all of your teammates are supposed to play and you don't know the game plan, then you shouldn't be out there. And if you don't know what all 5 of your teammates are doing, then how in the hell, if you lose a body, can you make the adjustment to pick up a zone, or make the adjustment to not pick up a zone and say, you know what, that's not that important. It's okay. Let's continue to go this way. If you don't know who you lost and where they were playing, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Right. And what I mean by this in regards to what you were saying is you can give yourself an advantage in knowing like how to quarterback these certain situations just by knowing the game plan. If you know the game plan, the intention of the game plan, you want to attack the Doritos or you want to attack the snake, play slow on the Dorito side, play slow on the snake. You want to win fast, not win fast, lose fast, lose slow, depending on the score and the time. If you are thoughtful in understanding that stuff, then it's very easy during the game to actually say, hey, here's what we should be doing, right? We know we wanted to lose fast if we were going to lose. Why is that the situation? Probably because we're down points with little time on the clock. So if you lose a couple bodies, it's like, hey, Tyler, let's go. Let's go try to win the game on this side. Might work, might not, but let's lose fast. Or if you know that you need to kill time, right? If you lose a body, instead of saying, hey, Tyler, let's go, you would say, Tyler, let's slow down. Right? Being mindful of the score, the clock, the play, and your teammates and the other team, of course, will allow you to do the basics. Right? So for me, and I think you might have even mentioned it, Maddie, but I don't think you need to say what side you lost a body from. That should be inherent when you say ball one, so-and-so, and you should always give that information because you're going to probably have two players on a side. So just saying that you lost one from that side doesn't give you enough information to make a quick reaction. If you lose the two or you lose the front player, that changes everything. That's a totally different scenario.
100%.
So put a name on it and know where that player was going. That's the way it should be. And every player, a lot of players are like, I play the snake. I just need to get in there and go down the field. No, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But you also need to be able to look back, communicate, understand the flow of the game plan, understand what all of your teammates are going to be trying to accomplish within that game plan so that you can play tailored to that game plan, right? Tyler, you said this a long time ago on the show, and it's just brilliant. Or you said it at one of the clinics we did, I forget, but it's brilliant, and it's true. You don't need to be worried about 5 players on the other side of the field. You need to be worried about 10 players. You need to know what all 10 players are doing so that you can make the best decision. Period. It's where they're at and where we're at on the field. That's what tells you where the advantage is, where it's not, where you can attack, where you can't. That's where it's at.
That's it. That's the nuts and bolts of it all right there. It's a wormhole.
Yeah, there's definitely, it makes sense from Harrison's side that sometimes those cadences you can pick up on quicker on. And that saves time, right? It's kind of like playing football. We always had like the forward step idea of like, we don't want to take a step backwards before we take a step forwards. So sometimes those calls might make someone take a step backwards and have to think of, okay, we just lost so-and-so. He was over there covering this zone. Just saying.
Yeah, but I disagree, dude. It is not quicker because if you say we lost somebody off the left, you then have to figure out who it was.
That makes sense too.
So just cut right to it. You cut right to it. And, you come from a football background. So preparation is everything. In football, you've got like hundreds of codes. Paintball, we have like 20.
Yeah.
And play, right. And so just learn the playbook. Know your playbook. And as you're walking to the gate, you talk to everybody and you know where everyone's going. And so if I'm playing with Tyler and it's ball one Tyler, I know exactly where he was and what his job was rather than, wait, we lost one on the right. Who was it? Did we lose Tyler or did we lose Dalton?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about efficiency and making it as fast as possible. You got to do the prep beforehand so the communication on field can be very, very efficient.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the elaboration there was really good. It's those things that like y'all have done so many times before of understanding what everybody's doing and understanding the intentions of the other team and what they want to do and why you're doing what you're doing is huge. And so taking that information, you're 100% right, where it's knowing that person and what his job was and having to react on it. Is it going to throw a wrench in the game plan where you have to kind of change your whole entire plan of what you're doing? And then y'all have already planned for that as well, correct? So know, hey, if we lose this person, we're risking this body, we lose them, we know what we have to do to win the point. We know what we have to do to stop them from doing what they want to do. So that completely makes sense.
It's more work, more prep, but
yeah. You hit it right on the head with the intention. Both of you, it all has to do with the intention. Like knowing the overall intention of the play, and having every single player know that intention when they go out on the field every single time. It's so hard to do. For an organization to accomplish that is extremely difficult. But I would have to say that is largely in part the reason for Dynasty's success is that bit right there. They predominantly, more times than not, when those 5 players step on the field, they have a collective intention set and they know how they're going to approach each particular point every single time. Right, Marcella? I mean,
totally. But it's also repeatable by divisional players. I have 2 teams that I work with,
Yep.
The Vegas Golden Misfits on the West Coast and New York Wrecking Crew on the East Coast. Both of those teams have started to own this, and they understand that it's a big problem if they are not all aware of what everyone's doing. Talking while you're going to the gate is a big part of the culture, and figuring out what everyone is doing is a big part of understanding the game. So that's basics. It's mandatory, and both of those teams have shared a lot of success. So yeah, you could look at Dynasty. I agree, Ty. Dynasty, we try our best to make sure that all of that's covered, but that doesn't always. It's easy to say, right? Like I could see a lot of players saying, well, yeah, but it's also Dynasty. There's probably a lot of other reasons they're successful. But the point is that it's repeatable. I've implemented this with divisional teams and it's become a huge difference maker. We're sharing some big secrets here, right? But it's just about being thoughtful and being really mindful and putting in the work, preparing, right? We don't have that many codes in paintball. I think we could have way more. Right? I love having a lot of codes, but to me, it's actually about just being the most efficient. And I spend a lot of time thinking about how to communicate on the field. I'm really thoughtful with like codes and what stands out and what could, confuse teammates and all that stuff. It's a big part of my game. So to me, I want to be as efficient as possible to relay, a message. And, if there's ways through preparation that you could cut things out, then that's a big bonus. For multiple reasons. One reason is the efficiency, but another reason is you can't always hear either, right? You can't always hear. So I need to be able to see as well. And if I look at a teammate that's walking off, I need to know what their job was. I need to know exactly what they were going to do. I need to know what our whole play is. If I can't communicate with some of my teammates in some of the finals that are kind of crazy, I need to be able to know by looking at what my teammate's doing, what he's trying to accomplish. So I can make a move off that, or I could help them, or, that stuff is important. Otherwise you're out there just kind of playing ball.
Yeah. That's why you got Defensive Player of the Year, because you're proactive about your reactivity, which
Absolutely.
is a huge part. I know that you talk about how you don't like the defensive,
it's okay. I've owned it, dude. I'm going to get it again next year.
But that's what I tell people playing like lower divisions is like these drills and this time that we put into working on communication allows you to be proactive when you're reacting. And those snapshots, those off the break shots, all that stuff that we work on is allowing us to be proactive when it comes to playing paintball instead of reactive. And whenever you can be proactive on your reactivity, then it's definitely huge. And that's what I think plays a huge part into you being Defensive Player of the Year, is because you've already planned all that stuff out. You know how to react to it. Talking even what was it? Was it Philly in 2021 where you had practiced that shot where you ran out on the tape like wide and shot down the tape and then moved up? You talked about how you had practiced it, and that was a reactive play, but you were proactive about it because you had practiced it before. So that's in piece why I think people think that you're a very good defensive player, is because you think about all those things and you have gone through all the motions you need to react to these things in a proactive manner. So that's definitely, I think, a huge reason why people consider you the best defensive player in the league.
Thank you, brother. It certainly is a lot of that, but that's also for front players too. It's for every player, right? Just the ability to predict what the other team is going to. This is why Tyler is a monster at 1-on-2s, 1-on-3s, because he is outsmarting them. He's thinking about, he's already thought about these players and what they might do or what he's going to do if he's in that situation. I guarantee it. I guarantee you, Tyler has already walked through that situation in his mind leading up to the event, thinking about that field, thinking about, okay, if I'm in this spot and they're here, what am I going to do? You know, you're not just on the fly, just winging it. Might look like that, but
Dude.
there's a lot of thought that goes into this beforehand.
Dude, Tyler's the only person I know that'll play the 2 and carry 4 pods and still shoot all 5 people. And I'll watch you play, Tyler, and I'm like, this guy knows it. Like, he knows what he's doing out there, because hey, I don't have to shoot this gap if I've got the guy in, because he's gonna head check before he goes. He's not just gonna run through it. Or you understand, like, hey, this zone I don't have to hold for the whole entire time. I have to do this instead, and understanding that. And I would love to maybe spend a full day of just gunfighting Tyler, just to see how it is. Just spend 8 hours on the field of gunfighting drills, because I would love to just experience those snapshots and really,
dude, it's a workout.
Your knuckles might feel like they got shot by a metal ball, but
dude, I've been put through the ringer by a couple people, and I love it. Even like talking about Chris, me and Chris, the other day, I went until he ran out of paint. Just playing one-on-ones with me and him. I think we probably played like 25 or 30 one-on-ones in a row.
There we go.
Of just going at it. And I think I probably got, I probably got him 5 times out of the 30 times that we played. But just the feedback and just experiencing those movements and picking his brain about what he was doing really is helpful. And those are things I know will just help me in the long run of, experiencing that. So, those mindsets of what everybody thinks, it's all different. So really getting the information from each person is huge. And so, like, Tyler, you're one of those people I'd love to sit down and run one-on-ones with all day, just to figure out what your mindset is and how you're playing certain things. So yeah, it's really awesome to watch y'all.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, I'm a Taurus. I'm just a stubborn old bull, like just a really competitive, stubborn old bull. And I love challenges. One-on-ones are one of the most difficult aspects of paintball. You play a lot of one-on-ones, you're going to get really good quick. And especially the way that you're doing it, because it is so tiring. One-on-ones just gas you out. You're flexed the whole time. Your moves, you're flexed. Everything's flexed. And then you're having to, obviously snap shoot, run and move, dive, slide, get back up, get back into posture. It is so much more tiring than a traditional paintball game. You slide into your bunker, you're using teamwork, connecting, and then the game, develops. But if you do a lot of one-on-ones over and over against really good people, you're going to get good really quick, because essentially paintball is a bunch of one-on-ones. And then you're going to learn how to outsmart your opponents, because you're going to just have so many different reads on different situations of gunfighting out of bunkers. But you got to have some strong shoulders, some strong legs. You know what I mean? If you're going to go over and over and over and over and over with one-on-ones. And it all kind of trickles back to the opening conversation of how we got here. It's percentages. It's numbers, right? Like when we were talking about intention, setting intention for the plays, of course, you're not going to have the intention set on 100% of them. There's going to be a couple plays where things get crazy. Maybe some things maybe it's not at 100%, and you have to go on the fly and ask good questions to get good answers and figure it out. But what it comes down to is those percentages. If our team's doing it at 90% and they're doing it at 60, we're going to win a high probability of those situations, just because we're processing a little bit more information than them, which is going to in turn give us W's, right? You don't have to be, it's never going to be perfect, but if we can be as damn near close to it and pressing up on it and really chasing that, that's what's going to give us the results that we're looking for. If we're not even thinking about it, we're screwed. It's like we have to at least be open to those ideas and walking through those doors to get those types of results. But yeah, dude, it's a lot of work, man. And it's a lot of fun. And like you said, it's all about that process. Keep playing those one-on-ones and kicking ass with that, because that's going to make you a really, really good paintball player. And before we dive into, we got a lot of Discord questions. I do want to touch on you being an engineer. You have an engineering degree, and I know that wasn't easy to get. Has that helped you in a lot of ways with paintball and with your social media aspects? Because in my personal opinion, one of my favorite things, I talked about it recently with paintball, is the fact that there's so much math involved in paintball. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think
Yeah.
you can really appreciate what I'm saying here as an engineer, but there's just so much math in paintball.
Yeah, funny enough, math is like my weak point, and I went to school for it almost. So that was definitely not easy to get through. But engineering, as I think it definitely has helped me. There's always a divide, but you can draw from each other as far as when it comes to the persistence that you have to have for both to you know procure a certain amount of excellence in it. But yeah, definitely it has helped with as far as analytics and understanding the importance of, just, one more number, whether it's on one side or the other, or just really, breaking down to the nitty gritty of what are the percentages of success and how high do you to, have that. And angles is another huge thing. Some people, find it weird what I do on the field sometimes, and then I'll explain it to them. They're like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." They're like, "Why are you diving out into this empty spot?" I'm like, "Well, if you look at the lane they're shooting, if I'm in my dive right here, I'm going to be the smallest target I possibly can be. That makes it a lot harder for them to shoot it. And guess what? When I'm out here in the open, no one can shoot me, so I can crawl to my spot safely." So it makes a lot of sense, whenever we're talking about running routes. There's been several times in tournaments where, people have not even told me where to go. I just kind of choose because I understand that, like, hey, I've gone here twice and I made it both times. They're going to expect me to go here again. Let's go here. Understanding, the angles that people shoot lanes, that, kind of analyzing that. It's a lot of numbers, but just, I think the biggest thing, and I learned it from, funny enough, watching one of the Dynasty videos, but you alive is more important than 5 of them dead. And I've always kind of taken that in the past year and really helped improve my game to, improving survivability and really helping us win a lot more points when it comes to practice in tournaments. But yeah, just taking those data analytic skills of understanding the data that's coming in and analyzing it, really just elaborating on it to improve on whatever I'm doing. It's huge. So
yeah, and the physics, there's a ton of
Awesome, dude.
physics involved too. All the,
Dude,
paintballs flying everywhere, bounce shots,
Yep.
all of it.
No, don't get started on bounce shots. We'll have this discussion
bounce
for
shots.
the 44,000th time on the podcast.
Bounce shots are fantastic, dude.
Dude,
Love
it's a
them.
hot topic.
Yeah.
I agree. It's all outthinking your opponents. Is another move
Yeah.
that you can make with your chess pawns, whatever you're doing. So
My dude.
Yeah.
My dude. Round of applause, brother. Love it. All right, man. Let's hop into some of these Discord questions here. We have CM Harry. He has 2 questions. The first one is, what is the biggest thing you would tell someone that's a divisional player on how to be great at social media?
Dang. There's a lot of things I'd say, but I would say
Gotta
to choose
biggest
one.
thing. Biggest thing.
I think
can
it's
only
what
give one thing.
I think it's what I told y'all, is to really analyze what you like seeing and put your own creative twist on it. Whatever that is. If you find yourself watching, gaming videos all the time, and you really like when the guys put hit marker sounds when he shoots someone, like funny sounds, like you can apply that to paintball. You can wear a GoPro on your head, and whenever you shoot someone, put a meme in it. That's definitely something that I've done, is just watching Call of Duty TikToks when they throw a ton of memes in there, and just, whoever's getting shot is unfortunately taking the brunt of the joke. But I do that. If you go and watch some of my Instagram posts and some of my TikToks, I've done really well. It's just memeing on kids because that's, what does well, and I enjoy watching it. So really just find stuff that you enjoy seeing and elaborate on it. So there's definitely some people around, in social media that have been doing that, and I can tell. But just, find the things that you like seeing and the things you enjoy watching, and do it yourself.
Awesome. Second part of the question, what is your dream professional team to play on? I'm not going to say the second part of this until after you answer, because this is unfair.
Oh man, dream professional team. I don't have one, to be honest. It's like whoever needs a snake or Dorito attacker, preferably sooner than later. But definitely just be around some people that are knowledgeable and can really help me grow. That's the biggest thing.
You weren't allowed to say Dynasty because that's the quote unquote normal answer. And I just don't think that's fair, because that's only recently. Honestly, there was a big space of time where it wasn't super cool to join Dynasty.
Honestly, if I was on Heat and me and Ronnie were making content together,
Damn.
I think that would be pretty
Oh,
dangerous.
my man's just
Or
thinking about making content, not winning championships.
hey man, he does pretty well from last time I checked. But I'm gonna say that, like I said, if I can grow and prosper and definitely benefit, then that's huge. But yeah, I mean, just people that are looking for someone that is willing to grow and can teach me, that's huge. So anyone
to clarify, I said he, not heat, not heat. I said he.
Oh yeah, no. You're right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But
I was just kidding.
I was yeah. But I mean, I put out a poll the other day about who people want me to see make content with this year, and I think Chris Caputo won by a landslide. So maybe the Bears hop on the Bears. But I definitely need to link up with him and make some videos with him. But yeah, there's definitely a long list of teams I would love to play for, but just one that I would gel with, people that I would enjoy being around and help me grow.
Well, Matt, if you go out there and you eliminate all the other players, then guess what? You got a spot. It's like, it's really, you got to just, if you're getting it and you're getting eliminations, doors are going to open point blank. You got to be out there straight cold blood getting it. You got to go out there and just turn the field on its head, be the best paintball player you can, be hungry, be connected, and enjoy it. Have fun. Like you talked about with your videos, you're having fun. You're putting memes. It doesn't change when you go pro. You still got to enjoy what you do. You got to throw your spin on things, have some, turn it up, spice it up, have fun, and obviously work extremely hard, but enjoy everything and go out there and get eliminations. And dude, the world is yours. You can be on any pro team you want. And I can't wait for that day because I know it's going to happen. You're going to keep working hard. And the biggest bit of advice I always give players that do want to go pro is just to be patient. Obviously be hungry, be out there putting your name in the airwaves, be hungry, but also be patient and be ready for the long haul because it could be that too. You never know. And you just got to be ready for anything.
I love it. That's all great advice. And I hope that other people listening really take that and apply it. So yeah, not just me, but other people that are listening definitely are their ears are open.
Yes, man. Absolutely. All right. We got Cyrus. He says, Matt, how much time does it usually take to edit your YouTube videos? And how pumped are you for the NXL? Another deposit, hashtag, he said.
Oh man, Cyrus. So whenever 3 people push you and you're not sure who's what, you have to use your abilities first. So what you'll do is you'll smoke and then you want to throw your Gibby bubble down. And then once you knock one, you're going to shield swap with them and you'll be able to 3v2 and then you can win.
What?
Damn.
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
That must be an inside joke, Cyrus.
That must be an inside joke.
He was wondering how much time it takes to edit your videos.
Oh, dude. So, like I said, I've spent like up to 40 to 50 hours on videos. For some of the shorter videos, I think the most I spent was probably 5 hours on like a 13-second video, just to kind of knock it out. But I have spent probably more time than I should on videos. For one, I was going to get both y'all in it, but it ended up raining really bad in Chicago on Sunday. But the video of interviewing and asking paintball players or professional paintball players simple questions probably took the longest because I had Will hold the camera handheld and it was shaking a lot because the interviews took like 15 minutes a piece. And then the mics that we used, it's the first time we were using them and the audio levels were different. And I had to go in and like stabilize all the footage and, fix all the audio and everything. And it ended up being like a ton of data on these clips. And it's probably took me maybe, around 40 hours to do that video. And it was my worst performing video of the year. So that was a good feeling. Well, I say worst performing. It had the least amount of views. It is still my best performing video as far as retention time and the amount of people watching it all the way through. So it's still it did really well. And I don't know if y'all watched
the algorithm.
Yeah, it was probably the thumbnail, to be honest. I'm about to go back and change it. But if you watch it, I threw. What'd you say?
You think the thumbnail has like that much of an importance?
Definitely. So the hook was really well. The thumbnail just didn't pop out on the screen. So maybe if I go and change it, put some like
Got it.
bright reds, maybe some yellows and some greens in there. It definitely will help as far as popping out. But if you go back and look at it, I kind of just made Dalton and Thomas's face look like they were crying with like massive eyes, and I was in the back smiling. And so if I kind of go and change it, maybe put like green grass in the background and have like a red arrow and like my words in yellow under it or something like that, it'll definitely pop out a little bit more. And then people will see it when they're scrolling. Read the title of like asking paintballers simple questions, or I can change the title to like, how dumb are paintballers? Maybe that's something that's a little bit more catchier, but like, that's the whole thing, right? It's like, you see
How
an
dumb are paintball
Applebee's.
players?
Yeah. So it's the whole thing of like, you see an Applebee's and a Ruth Chris, and you look on the outside and you're like, I'm definitely gonna go to the Ruth Chris. That definitely looks a lot nicer. So it's something like that where, it's
Got it.
judging a book by its cover, and that's all
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have whenever you're on YouTube. So
Makes sense. All right. Colin Robinson wants to know, what's the best energy drink and protein?
oh man, that's a big question. I worked at GNC for a year of my life, so I really Marcelo with the plug. I really
we
have
got the transcend over here.
I really have a lot of that I've tried. White Monster is my go-to. I've got a 24 pack in my fridge right now, actually.
White Monster, dude.
Yeah.
No lie, that's like kind of a guilty pleasure of mine that I every so often a White Monster. It's like oddly refreshingly good. I don't admit that to many people, but now everyone knows. Now millions of people are gonna hear about this.
Oh man. Yeah, I
Oh,
usually have
man.
one every morning just for like my coffee.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not that bad, dude. It's 140 milligrams of caffeine. That's nothing. I've done my
The White
research.
Monster, I feel like, is the best one. Isn't it the taurine in it? That's not great.
Yeah, it's something about the taurine can cause like headaches or things like that.
Yeah.
But it's, as far as me having one a day, it's not going to kill me, and I'm fine right now. So maybe if it does start affecting me, I'll change up. But yeah, that's my go-to. I've been having that for a long time. And then as far as protein, it just always go with Optimum Nutrition's gold standard way. You can get it pretty much anywhere now, and it's I think 120 calories, 25 grams of protein. I think maybe 1 gram of carb and a gram of fat. So it's not a ton of extra stuff. It tastes great. That's what I recommend to everyone. When I worked at GNC, that's what I was always recommend. It's a great high quality source of protein that you can get Walmart. So
yeah, clutch.
Cool.
And if you want to get your questions answered live on the show, you can head over to PTG Podcast, and we do them straight through our Patreon, and you can have your questions answered as well. We got Easy. He's wondering, Matt, as a divisional player who has not only played in the NXL, but also multiple different local leagues and traveled to places like PB Fit to play, how do you feel the competition differs from region to region and from local levels like CPXL to the NXL?
Oh, dude, it's different play styles, man. The biggest thing I realized playing all these people is if they're not stopping you, why should you stop? And so that's the biggest thing that's helped me is like, if I'm playing against guys and they're not trying to stop me, then I'm not going to stop. Right. So I
Totally.
cause as much chaos as I can. I have realized, especially going from playing local at like Rock Hill, where most of the guys out there are Division 4, Division 5. We have Division 3 guys, and occasional the pro players out there like Austin Castor, who plays for NRG Elite, and Chris Shear, Kyle Bowen are a couple to name off that come out there and play every now and then. There's definitely a huge difference in reaction time as far as capitalizing on, the movements that you can make and being quick to take ground. And then just the skill level of snapshots are on point, the lanes shooting off break are on point. I remember in 2021 being able to make the snake all year, playing Division 4, and then going to play Division 3 NXL. And it was like maybe, 2 out of every 4 times I can make it into the snake because the lanes are so much more dialed in. And as you go up, it gets even harder to where you have to change up those angles and things like that. But it's definitely the quality in the players and the understanding of those players. I remember playing at PB Fit, and I've watched this video probably 15,000 times. It feels like of Blake shooting me while he fills out to the Dorito corner. So we were down by 1, and I got into their Doritos, and Blake Yarber fills out from the corner and shoots 2 balls at me while he's running to the corner through a gap, probably 2 yards wide and hits me right in the face with one of those balls while he's shooting 6 balls a second. And I just kept on looking back at it and watching it. And I was like, how does someone do that to where they shot 2 balls at me through a gap that was about as wide as like one of my arms sticking out, and he hit me right in the face with one of them.
Dude, he's nasty. Yarber's sick. Yarber is a nasty paintball player.
I mean,
100%.
You give him a slow shooting gun too, and I feel like he gets better. There was another time when I thought I put him in. I was gunfighting with him, trying to get in their Doritos, and I was
that's
like,
his roots.
It's his roots. He used to be a pump tournament player.
Yeah, I thought I had him in. I was like, all right, I got him. I was shooting at him. I got, and he just pops the top, puts one right in my hand. He shoots 2 balls at me, puts one right in my hand. I was like, all right. And I was like, well, it's another thing to learn. Maybe I should have stayed lower, went through faster, reacted faster from it. But
or just hide. Just hide.
No, dude, I love it, especially playing against like the higher level guys. We got to practice Revo and NRG Elite the beginning of the year last year, and just you can see those clips too on YouTube. But just like getting to play against those guys, obviously there's some points when things go, turn fast because they've have that muscle memory of reacting to things. They get a kill, they shoot the guy that's holding the tape in the back, and then they can just react and launch off of it if they don't see those zones. But going into that, and then also being able to hold your own of, being able to get 3 and 4 packs against those guys, and just, really dissecting things. You understand quickly that like, hey, there is a lot to this, but there's also an understanding that if you are a good paintball player, you understand how to play paintball, you can hold your own. I feel like regardless of where you go to, as long as you have confidence in what you're doing and you're quick to react on those things. And that's really what I've been trying to work on myself, is just the reaction time of things, of, taking someone out and moving as much as I can, or really reading the zones, reading the pressure that I have, and being able to, make moves off of that. I feel like World Cup was one of those where, like, if you went to the Dorito corner, you could crawl on the outside to go up, or if they were shooting on the outside, you go on the inside and kind of weave your way through. And it's really just taking those A, B, C, D options and capitalizing on it, and then the drills to allow you to, like I said, be proactive and be able to hit those shots the first time you come out. And so I think that's the big difference, is those people that have all those moves already planned out in their head, and like y'all talked about, already have the game plans and the reactions to those game plans if they get thrown off, and their ability to be proactive when they play and hit those snapshots and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to move the chains out there, which is like a fun football term that I like to use in paintball as well. Is like, take that 10 yards, move the chains, take the 10 yards. If nobody's stopping you, what's stopping you? Most of the time, you're stopping yourself. Most players are stopping themselves. You know what I mean? They don't even know why they're doing it, but they are. And it's like, if you have a free move, you take that every time, unless there's very unique situations where you wouldn't. But predominantly, you take that and you keep applying pressure, apply the angles, and that is going to be beneficial for your team. Take pressure off of other players, put it on you, and you can start to really play a good game of paintball there. I have a question from me personally. I want to ask you your thoughts on how people can brand themselves individually to the utmost, and their team. So individual branding, team branding, and how to develop organizations based off of that will stand the test of time and have a good long run in the game.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing there is to be genuine. It's very easy to be disingenuous to get something that you want, and then when you get it, you realize that it wasn't worth it. Always be genuine. Always, set these moral standards for yourself and follow them. I've been big on that, where I've turned down tons of sponsorships because they didn't coincide with my content and they don't make sense. Things from like crypto and stuff like that. It's like, you couldn't offer me a number that I would do it, because it just doesn't work with what I have. And I have those moral standards. And after that, make it about what it's about, right? So if you're making a whole entire page about yourself and playing paintball, be on the screen, play paintball, don't do other things. Don't go off and branch off and do something maybe once or twice and then come back, because then it creates inconsistency and people don't know what they're actually seeing. So that's a big thing for myself, where if you go on there, you'll see me, my team, but mostly it's like me and my content. And so that's an easy way to brand yourself of, hey, whenever these people come to my channel, they are seeing me. That is how, these companies that come in and want to do sponsorships, these people that want to, give you offers, somebody else shooting their paintball gun is not going to sell their products. You being on the screen and you being yourself, being genuine, and you actually doing what your content is made to do is the best way to brand yourself. So don't do anything that's going to steer away from your ultimate goal, and always have that mindset and that plan set to where whatever you're doing for a reason and for a purpose, and you are the one doing it.
Nice answer, man. Warnock wants to know, what kind of supplements do you take outside of that whey protein that you recommended?
Dude, I take protein whenever I eat oatmeal. Funny enough, I put protein in my oatmeal to flavor it. That's kind of the only time I eat protein. But besides that, I take fish oils, and I do glucosamine for my joints, which I don't even know if that's helpful. It's just one of those things that I take. And then I do creatine every morning, just 5 grams of it. But those are basically it. Everything else, I eat a ton of fruits. I love vegetables, so I'm always eating vegetables. Almost every day for lunch, I'll have a salad or either some type of cooked green vegetables. And every night when I come home, I have some type of roasted vegetables. I'm always eating fruit for some type of snack. Good sources of carbs. I always plan out my meals, so I'm making sure that I fast in the mornings, and then we're getting a low carb meal at lunch. And then before I work out, I'm eating carbs. And then after I get done working out, some type of slow digesting or, healthy source of carbs, clean source of carbs. Like I said, I had white rice today, and, a lean source of protein. And then I had some dark chocolate too. I eat a lot of almonds, and cashews is what I enjoy. So just trying to get a well-balanced meal in to really, tick off all the check marks that you need. And then besides that, fish oil is probably one of the best things you can take for your body, and creatine definitely helps out with physical performance. So,
yeah, man, dude, crushing it. And a lot of the same things that you were talking about are what I'm so grateful. I work with Garden of Life, and they have a wide array of like different supplements and health bars and shakes and all that kind of stuff. So being able to have your veggies with the solid proteins, and you got it down to a science, though. It sounds like, holy smokes.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time and working at GNC for years. Definitely opened my eyes to a lot of the good and bad that you can get from all those extra supplements. And then just, trying to, like I said, always absorb and trying to make myself better. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of the Huberman Lab podcast, but I listen to that a good bit. And he's a neuroscientist, so he's always talking about good things that you can do throughout the day to, make yourself better, just from like viewing light and going to bed at the same time, just things like that. So just trying to apply those to make my life better.
Amazing. Yeah, I know when I take fish oils, I definitely feel a lot better. And then, taking your vitamins and being healthy, this is your machine. You know what I mean? You got to feed that thing the best fuel possible.
You only got one body, man. Might as well take care of it.
That's it, dude. All right. We got Verb. He's wondering, MTGR, will you teach me to edit videos? LOL. He's laughing it up out here.
Dude, I need Verbal to teach me how to shoot, how to make reels, because that's the goat, dude. He's the man. Yeah, me and Will love Verb. He's awesome guy, dude. He's even better in person. If you get to meet him and talk to him, he's the Batman of paintball content creation. He shows up when the action's happening, and then as soon as it stops, you look around and he's gone. Like, where'd he go?
On to the next.
There you go. Yep.
He's so good.
100%.
My real question is from Meme Machine, though. He's wondering, you say in your video, why do you play paintball? You mentioned your friends as your why, but what is your biggest motivation outside of that?
Oh man, dude, there's so many things that you can draw from paintball, right? Obviously being around the people in paintball is a huge reason why we come back. If we didn't like the people that we played with, we wouldn't be going to the field all the time, right? But after that, it gives me a creative outlet. It gives me something to work for every day. It gives me a reason to get up in the mornings. I mean, without paintball, I would probably go to the gym a lot less. I probably wouldn't eat as healthy. I probably wouldn't have as much drive and dedication to do what I do, because there is an ultimate, I wouldn't say an ultimate end goal, but there's a reason behind everything. I feel like that's been kind of a theme of everything I talked about, but having a reason behind it. There's a reason I go to the gym and run. I wouldn't be running, 10 minutes, twice a week if I wasn't playing paintball, right? I wouldn't be doing as many squats as I did or explosion workouts. I wouldn't probably focus on eating more clean and trying to, watch my weight, count my calories, things like that. I wouldn't be doing that if I didn't have a reason for it. And so it gives me a better reason, it gives me a reason to wake up at certain times. It gives me a reason to grind. And that's, what I've always been about. Growing up, I was never the fastest, never the strongest, never anything like that. So really, always had to work for what I got, and so that gives me another reason to work.
100%, dude. Matt, my last question here is from Brandon Bemraps. Where do you see yourself and your channel in 5 years?
Man, in 5 years, I'll probably be washed up, to be honest. No, man, I've definitely thought about that. As far as myself, dude, I would love to be full-time making content. That's always the dream. I spend so much time after work and on the weekends when I have free time working on it, that if I didn't have to, take the 40 hours, 50 hours out of my week to do everything else, then I definitely would have more time to do it. Honestly, just continuous improvement. Hopefully be playing, a higher level paintball, and then just making higher level content, and seeing the fruits of my labor from that. So really just keeping my mind open and constantly building on it, stacking on, making another deposit just every single time.
There we go. I
love it, dude. Yeah, fantastic answer.
Well, Matt, we can't thank you enough for dropping in here to PTG World, and I know everybody who's tuning in got a tremendous amount of value from hearing your story, and we wish you nothing but the utmost success with everything that you do on, off the paintball field. Like I said, be sure to, keep tagging us at PTG, and we'll keep plugging your stuff as well, and let everyone know where they can follow you on all the platforms.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you're not following me yet, we've obviously gone over the numbers, but it's Matt the Gym Rat and everything. But I can't thank the people that have actually gotten me there enough. And so 40 Media, if you guys aren't following him, he is one of the best people that have been to my career as far as making content. And just all the other YouTubers that you see on there, if you haven't subscribed to them, watch their stuff. But yeah, if you haven't followed him or any of those other guys that you see constantly, please do it, because those are the guys that are driving this content, making it possible.
There we go, man. We'll keep kicking ass, dude.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it all.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thanks.
We'll see you soon.
Yep.
Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, if you enjoyed the show, please head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the Patreon link, and become a supporter. If you sign up as a supporter at any level, you will get access to the Discord, as well as some other amazing perks with the GOAT tier. Check it out, join us, see if you like it. If you don't, you can always cancel, but I promise you'll like it. The Discord and PTG Nation is an amazing community, really high-level conversations going on in there. It's a lot of fun. All right, everybody. As always, we will see you very soon. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. We love you. Peace.